suck badass. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you could run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the badass. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms a lot. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Omni tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Booking a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keep winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good lucha.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Jeez, I thought that was me. That was the song. Holy shit. What's going on? Excuse me, what is going on, everybody? It is Friday night. Thank God. I think we can all use this weekend coming up. It's the Dirt Sheet Dudes. I am Boxman. Hope everybody's doing good. Smark, my man, over there riding shotgun. What is going on?
That's right. I got the window down. I got my head out the window. Not unlike a Labrador Retriever. I'm having a good time. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you're enjoying whatever you're doing.
Well, I made the mistake of trying to touch the radio, and I learned my lesson the hard way.
That's what happens sometimes, man. It does. It happens. Nothing you can do about it, man. Not a damn thing you can do.
It's like Chris Tucker said in Rush Hour, never touch a Boxman's radio.
Something like that.
Yeah, maybe a paraphrase, but you get the idea.
Yeah, you're not going to get much touching my radio, but anyway. All right. Well, shit. I got to tell y'all, it's been kind of a slow week after all the releases on Wednesday. Not a ton. We do have some news. We, of course, have SmackDown to get into, but not a shitload of news to get into. Still a little bit of news to get into. More than, thank God, Smart pulled some out, because it was looking a little scarce on the news here. Guess we'll go ahead and knock out plugs real quick, which can lead us right into getting this motherfucking show started. All right, here we go. Give me 1 second. Let me get the music playing because I've got it right here. Here it is. It is turned on. It is going, and it is the High Marks. That's who you want to be listening to. When you're not listening to us, you want to be checking out the High Marks. That is Sunday, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, right? Why?
That's right, Daddy-O.
Literally,
Sundays,
my mind,
8:30.
My mind went blank there for a second. Sunday nights, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Where? You know where. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. Double up those T's when you're typing the Mitt. That's right. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's where you're going to find those guys. And, of course, we've got Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades. They are the Inhumans. They are the Inhuman Experience. And you should be subscribed already. If you are not, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, we got the Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Eric, Doug, Daniel, Clenneth, all the other madmen over there. They can be found all your usual podcast platforms and Blog Talk Radio. Just type it in the search bar. You will find it. Everything Unscripted Wrestling. And of course, Stephen Milan, letterboxd.com/Stephen Milan. There's 2 L's in Milan. Go over there. He's reviewing films. Check him out. And if you want to listen to us, you know where to do it right here, mixer.com/DirtSheetDudes. Come on, join the chat, check us out. And you can get us on Twitter, you can get us on Stitcher, iHeart, Spotify, Google, TuneIn, Player FM, Anchor, YouTube, anywhere else. Go for it.
That's right. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. Be sure to check out Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man. And Sundays, 10:30 a.m. Also on the Mixler Machine on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. Be sure to listen to the Mo Dirk City Machine Guns with Mojo, with Dirk, and last but never least, be sure to check out Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for your listening pleasure, and be sure to subscribe for season 2. It's gonna happen. Believe you me.
Oh,
it's
there
gonna
you
happen.
go. Believe you, season 2 will happen. There we go. All right. Drop that music down now, and we can go ahead and pause it so we don't have an imaginary playlist going. All right. So there we go. Like I said, we got some stuff to get into tonight. Also, SmackDown. But let's start with a little correction, Smark. We had talked about Wednesday night, we talked about Monday Night Raw's ratings and how the third hour fell significantly. Turns out that's wrong. Actually, the third hour of this show drew the most of any of the hours. Again, with Showbiz Daily shut down, it's a little hard for everyone to get their ratings now. So, it may take a little bit. Probably not even going to care about ratings for the time being after this, but do want to correct it. First hour of Raw drew 1.536 million. Second hour, 1.549. And the third hour, which was supposedly a huge drop, was actually 1.586, the highest viewership of the night. So there you go. Wanted to correct that. First thing first.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Getting everything amended. I dig it.
Well, a lot of people got that wrong. A lot of people were looking at the same articles we were, and a lot of people copied and pasted the same articles like they do all the time. I just figured we'd mention that we had a little correction, and there we go. Super Sasha Baron Corbin is saying there's a surprise on AEW right now. Great. Awesome.
Cody jump out of a birthday cake.
Oh, there you go. I'm sure it's a new Cody entrance, probably.
They're releasing a VR app so you can experience Cody's entrance from the comfort of your own living room.
Yes, right there. You can stand there right on stage with Cody Rhodes. Sasha, if you want to let us know what it is, that's fine. I don't mind the spoilers. I don't think Smart does either, because...
No, go right ahead and talk about the show. We're not really watching the show at the moment, so I can't really be of much conversation to you. But if you'd like to talk about your experience, go ahead and share.
There you go. Experiences are always welcome on this show.
That's right.
Always goddamn welcome on this motherfucking show. But anyway, yeah, if you want to just give us a little hint of what it is, we'll talk about it real quick. We will. Anyway, let's go ahead. We'll just, like I said, that wasn't anything we need to spend time on. Just wanted to correct a little thing that we had said. So there you go. Now, we know WWE is always filing trademarks. Smart. Oh, okay. He said a Mexican wrestler. Are we going to play this game? Seriously? Really?
I'll play along. I'm trying to think of somebody that I know that they don't have. Drago?
S.A. Rios.
Mm.
Ex-WWE Mexican wrestler. Andrade.
Dear God, I hope it's not the one that comes to my mind, because the first one that came to my mind was Del Rio, and Jesus Christ, I do not want to have to support that guy in any form or fashion.
I'm thinking, it may be Del Rio. I'm thinking Andrade, though.
Yeah, it's just from a few months ago. Well, he said ding in response to one of us, but...
goddamn lag. It's probably... If it's great, he's ding both of us. I'm hoping it's...
So it's both of them. They're a tag team, and they're taking on the women's division.
I don't know, but if they snagged Andrade, that's a good...
Yes, it's a very good snag for them.
Oh.
I mean, let's just go ahead and check out the old Twitter machine. Let's take a look here. Boxer.
Oh, that means I'm right. Maybe we should change my name to Boxer. I like that one.
Oh, see, I thought that was implying that he was a boxer, which Del Rio did MMA for a while.
Yeah. Put him back in the ring against Crow Cop and see what happens.
Even Crow Cop at his age now, I feel like it would still be about the same result. Maybe even Boss Root and throw him out there.
Yeah, a lot of guys, but yeah, it is. I guess they're calling him Ed Darn. I don't know what they're calling him. I can't pronounce that name that he just typed in there, but pretty cool. Really good get for them if that's what's going on. Andrade is a talented son of a bitch. I don't know how WWE didn't figure out how to use this guy, but they didn't, and he asked for his release, and he got it. So there you go. I got a feeling he's going to get Charlotte fired, but that's just my feelings. They take some racy pictures, if you will.
Well, okay, so I'm like listening as you're talking. I'm listening to like the segment on Twitter, and they referred to him as Andrade. So who knows?
All right.
He came out during a Vicky Guerrero promo, so that's interesting. I don't know if he's supposed to be his client or her client rather. Sorry, Vicky Guerrero, as far as I know, does not have a penis.
That would be pretty good, actually. Using Vicky to speak for him. Speaks both.
I can get behind it. Then they haven't been using her that much lately.
No, speaks both the languages. Can speak both Spanish and English. So that's good. And I think that actually could be a good thing. Vicky speaking for him. Find out what happens with that. But that is a good get for them right there. I think that's going to be a guy that can elevate a lot of people in that company, and as well be a star himself. Which, I mean, I've always said I thought that guy was a star anyway. So nice work on AEW's part there. I know they're just hiring WWE rejects. Well, they didn't fire this guy. They did let him get out of his contract. So I don't know. It's just not the same thing.
Yes, he wanted to leave, and there was a bidding war. It wasn't a matter of like, they were begging him. Like, he had a choice of going pretty much anywhere, and the fact that he is there, even if it's only temporary, says a lot. So,
absolutely, but I don't know, man. That's, like I said, very good acquisition for AEW, and we'll have to see where it goes from there.
They're apparently doing it in front of a live crowd this week too, so that should be better. I mean, they're still doing it on Friday, so it's kind of not that that's really their choice. That's kind of shitty, Friday night show. But
yeah, aren't they on Saturday next week?
I don't know. I know that they are preempted up until the last Wednesday of this month. but I don't know exactly when they're doing next week's show.
There's a week there on Saturday, and I guess we'll have to see when that is. But anyway, before we started talking about Andrade being pulled over to AEW, good move, good move. We were talking about some trademarks. WWE loves filing trademarks. Now they filed trademarks for 2 names, Mark. Trey Baxter and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes, we just saw debut last week, right?
Yeah, well, that was this week because he was on NXT this week against
Oh, that's right.
Kushida.
That's right. That's right. We saw him. It was this week. My God, the weeks are blurring at this point. So we did see one. So expect a Trey Baxter to also be coming out soon. Also, both names got trademarks pending and filed. So don't really need to spend time on that. Just something to look out for. Figured I'd mention.
First, I thought you were going to say it was Trey back. I was like, oh, God, they're bringing right back under a new name.
Ugh. I don't think they would take him back at this point. He really trashes that company, which I know to them is a little bit of kind of like a incentive. They like bringing you back after you shit talk the company. Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio basically, not basically, flat out called Triple H a racist.
Mm-hmm.
And then like a month later, he was back with the company. Stick to your morals, pal. Stick to those fucking morals.
I mean, both can be true, I suppose. He could be a racist. It's like, not technically untrue. Let's bring him back before he probes further.
I believe the actual statement there is money is cash is king, basically. Money talks. Let's just put it that way.
Yes, as Charlie Sheen and Chris Tucker would testify to. Yes.
Money, yeah, you're right. Money Talks. I'm like, is that Money Talks or Mo Money? That was Money Talks. Good movie. Good movie. Mo Money was the Wayans brothers were in that.
Yeah.
Marlon and Damon, I believe. And Stacey Dash. Yeah. Yeah. Now I know where we're going here. Okay. Anyway, again, WWE, couple of trademarks there. Let's see. You sent over some stories too, Smarkety Smark.
I did.
Well,
look at me.
Good. Go ahead and pick one.
All right. We're going to... We'll get this one out of the way. This is kind of the one that I find to be least interesting. So you gotta build. You gotta build. So apparently, everybody is doing the live shows again in front of people. Impact tweeted out today that Slammiversary is officially sold out. We're looking forward to seeing all of you on July 17th in Nashville. And apparently they sold out, the initial tickets sold out in 20 minutes. So I think they're still doing a limited number of tickets and a limited number of people, which I heard them say that they were going to be offering a limited number of tickets. And I was like, yeah, usually a limited number of people show up to your shows anyways. This is kind of par for the course.
So they only put out 100 tickets and they sold out in 20 minutes. I'm not sure that's good.
5 tickets.
By the way, I don't know exactly the amount of tickets. That was obviously a joke.
I mean, if it's the venue that I think it is, I'm pretty sure that it is. It was like it's in Nashville. It's like a Nashville Fairgrounds, probably. Ring of Honor used to run there, and it's not a very big venue. So like 20 tickets is not really an exaggeration by much.
Now, where you're right, it doesn't say where it is. It just says it's sold out. But where is the venue? You're right. Where is it? It doesn't say. I don't know. Oh, great. Now I can't get my eyes off this Tay Conti little gif.
Well, you know.
Ooh. I like watching this. She's a really hot girl. Anyway, yeah, good for them selling out. Listen, people are glad to get back to, let's just leave that on while I talk. People are happy to get back to doing, getting back to live events, getting a little bit of normalcy going on. Masks or not, whether you're wearing one or not, it's still being able to go gather, be with other people, see other people, mingle. Normals, Mark. You know, like people do.
Right. And I mean, for whatever it's worth, it's also going to be in July is when Slammiversary is. So that'll be past the date where all those releases happen. The 3-month no competes will be up. So I think that the kind of interest is peaked there because they've been teasing potentially some signings or returns of big name value as they often do. And, you know, we all know how those usually turn out, but we'll see.
Yeah, so they're saying July is going to be interesting because that's when the original releases are up, and September is when these new releases are going to be available for to be able to get out there. So September will be a nice, nice fun month too. So that'll be pretty cool. By the way, this is episode 198 here. We are 2 away from the old 200.
Next Friday. I like it.
Next Friday. I'm probably going to take the Friday after that off so I can move. Because we want to try to you know.
Well, no, we've talked about this before, and I did know this was coming, so it's not. I'm not judging at all. It just that makes me laugh. The kind of idea that it's like we have like a 200 episode celebration, and then just follow it up by like taking the week off.
I'm not gonna have a choice, man. I got to do it. I
know. I'm not judging at all. Nor am I complaining.
Well,
I think we could both use week off, but that's the funny little follow up of like, well, thank you for joining us, episode 200. Now we are getting the fuck out of here.
that's a good time to take a break. 200 episodes, 1 week off. I think it's a good time. Yeah.
Got to figure out a way to end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah. She's gonna get. Wife's got internet ready to be set up next Friday when we get the keys. So that's one thing that'll be handled. And we'll just go from there, man. We'll see how everything works. I will say I'm a little worried about the speed of the internet. So we'll see how that works out. We are moving to the country. I didn't realize it, but yeah, we're moving to the country.
You got to eat you a lot of peaches?
Maybe.
Peaches, you know, peaches come in a can. They were put there by a man in a factory downtown.
Look out! Good song, man. I like that one. That little scene was a little shout out to the old Thin Lizzy right there. If you didn't know that, where they do the whole breakout in the. You don't know what song I'm talking about. Anyway, Jailbreak.
Yeah, I don't think we're on the same page. The song I was quoting was Peaches by Presidents of the United States, I believe.
Yeah, that's part of that song.
Oh, okay, so we're on the same page. All right.
Yeah, cool. That's part of that song. But that whole, yeah. I'm old, don't forget. I actually like that song and that band. They're pretty good. So, all right. Think we're done. Way to go for Slammiversary, Impact.
You get a gold star.
Good job. That's right. Gold star for you. Maybe I'll send you a cookie. There you go. Y'all need to get high and look at the goddamn deal you got with fucking AEW and realize it ain't doing jack shit for your company.
You can just go ahead and use that contract as like rolling papers at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, roll up a big fat tube in that bitch.
I mean, on the positive, nothing was like we talked about a billion times already. The New Japan deal that they had was like nobody really talked about that, but that's been way more beneficial for them. Like New Japan is actually trying to give them actual talent.
Ooh, the Forbidden Door. Impact opened it first. Careful. Tony Khan will cut a promo on you.
That is pretty great if you look at how all that went down. It's like, all right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a deal. It's going to be an open partnership. We're going to have our world champion come in and beat everyone on your roster, and then we're going to have our owner cut promos about how low budget and shitty your product is. Like, and what do we get in return? Like, no, jack shit, nothing.
Oh, you get Kenny Omega in return.
Yes, he gets to beat everyone on your roster, and then eventually leave.
Right, which will happen. I think that might be one of the first titles he loses. Is that one right there? Yeah. It's definitely not going to be the AEW one, so not going to happen. But speaking of head honchos, Smark,
Yes.
WWE has added a few head honchos to their board of directors, sir.
Mm-hmm.
We know the company's been making some big. I mean, we talked about, they let go like almost 60 people in one day a couple of weeks ago. Office, mostly WWE Studios people. But WWE has added 3 more people. Nick Khan, one of them, who I believe is the president. Steve Koonin and Connor Schell. I'm thinking Schell is Shell. It's probably how you say it. Well, it can't be Skell. Anyway, I'm going to go with Shell. Yeah. So WWE announced, this was the other day. This was June 1st when this article came out, but I waited till today to talk about it. Now, WWE, once again, let me just kind of go through. We know who Nick Khan is. He was hired as the WWE president in August of last year. And before that, he was over at, the Creative Artist Agency. We talked about all this back then. But, he's a top-ranking guy in WWE. Makes sense to get him on the board. Now, Koonin, the second guy, he's the CEO of the NBA's Atlanta Hawks. Smart, did you know that?
No, I did not know.
Okay. Going to get a little more interesting. And the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. He's also part of that. Big one of these CEOs of that too. Now, he's been to those jobs since 2014. Now, he previously served as the president of Turner Entertainment Networks, overseeing TNT, TBS, True TV, and TCM. Did they get a spy over there or something?
But that does sound like it. It sounds like the kind of trick that they like to play in the NFL, where like a rival team will sign an old player that used to play for the opposing team and basically just bring him on so that he'll talk about the other team's playbook.
Ah, there you go. All right. I didn't know they actually did that. That sounded like something they would do in the movies.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, they'll bring people on that used to play for, say the Bears bring on somebody that used to play for the Packers in hopes of trying to glean some information from them. It's usually unfruitful, from what I've managed to surmise.
Well, you're expecting those guys to remember shit, so. But I just thought it was interesting that this guy was the former president of Turner Entertainment, overseeing all those companies that AEW is on. Now, before that, he had worked at Coca-Cola for 14 years, and he led the marketing and advertising operations. To last that long at a company like Coca-Cola, the guy must have some talent, know what the fuck he's doing. So,
this guy's basically had every high-paying job that there is to have in Atlanta. Based on the sounds of things.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's still the CEO of the Atlanta Hawks and State Farm Arena in Atlanta. So, big guy in business here, and probably a good one to have on the board. And the other guy was Shell, and he is the founder and CEO of a new unscripted content venture that has been announced with a company called Churnin Entertainment. Not a lot to look up on this guy, to be honest with you. Even on Google, I actually tried to look him up on Google, and believe it or not, it's a very common name, and I couldn't find much on this guy exactly. But he was the executive vice president of content at ESPN. He was responsible for the development and production globally of all the live event studios and original content across the ESPN platforms. So this looks like they just got a guy that can, kind of add input on the live events, the recorded events, the pay-per-view event, all the events that they're doing, whether it be streaming or live events.
Right.
And he is also an award-winning producer of film and TV, Smart. So,
Wow.
there you go. making some moves. You know, a lot of people are saying a lot of these moves just look like they're trying to get this company for sale. Do you?
Yeah, I actually was going to bring that up the other show, but we just had a lot to talk about, so seemed like it might be better suited for a night like tonight, where there's not quite as much going on. It seems like that was sort of the rumor as to why there were so many releases the other day. And it seemed like basically the idea is that multiple people have said that it was budgetary reasons, it was all budget cuts, but at the same time you hear about the fact that like they're making more money now than ever with all those TV deals and the fucking Saudi blood money and all this shit. So it seems like there's if they're having a budget for talent, it's theoretically part of a bigger scale deal of here's how much for talent, here's how much for this, how much for that. They're setting up all their assets essentially.
Yeah, but budget cuts. How much are you paying Santana Garrett? What you paying?
Exactly. I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like the idea that they're not able to afford to pay these people is preposterous. So there's got to be some kind of other reason, is what a lot of people are seeming to believe.
Well, and I mean, there's many reasons, and obviously it's all speculation right now whether or not they would sell if that. But I mean, the rumors going around is that NBC Universal has made a play, and WWE is listening. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if the company's actually. Would you not think that Vince McMahon would want to pass that company down to one of the kids?
Maybe they're not interested. I mean, we just assume that they're interested, but who knows? I mean, if it depends on how much of money they're actually going to be making from the deal, but I was hearing like a couple billion potentially. That's like, even if you don't get to keep the company or get to pass down the company for your kids, you and everyone in your family is going to be well taken care of for the rest of their lives.
Well, I mean, that family is well taken care of no matter what. So, I mean, I'm not ever worried about how much the McMahons are going to make a year. That's not.
You're not worried that Stephanie's going to have to like scowl at people from the street corner in order to make ends meet?
No, I got a feeling she could find a way to make ends meet. Let the boobies hit the floor. Remember when Jericho said that? Let the boobies hit the floor. I like that one.
Well, it's getting to the point now where that's just sort of a natural evolution of her with age and time.
Yeah. Listen, I kind of think Stephanie's hot, but that's just me.
She used to be, but then it's like she became like full on like Vince face, and it's just hard to overlook that.
Nah, she's just milfy now.
Perhaps.
I go with milfy. I'm gonna go with milfy, Smart.
Well, hey, I mean, however you need to classify it.
Whatever lets me sleep at night.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, whatever gets it done for you. I can totally testify and understand and be able to relate with you for in terms of being able to bend and twist realities in order to achieve certain goals.
Well, I also drink myself to sleep, so that's one way to do it.
I've been there quite a few times and quite a few days and nights.
Well, you're looking at tonight. Anyway.
If you add drinking in with random crying, you perfectly describe my experience.
Well, it can happen. I'll sitting there watching a goddamn television show. Next thing you know, I'm like, that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Guy Fieri really loves those nachos.
I've actually never watched a Guy Fieri show in my life. I know who the guy is. I could spot him in a crowd, but I've never actually watched one of his shows. And I will say MasterChef is coming back Monday. I'm excited about that.
You can spot him. Anybody can spot him in a crowd. He's a guy with bleached blonde hair that wears T-shirts that have flames on them. He looks like fucking Violent J from the Insane Clown Posse. Like, of course you're going to be able to spot him in a crowd. I did hear that MasterChef's coming back, though. I don't watch it all the time, but I've had fun the episodes or seasons that I have watched of.
Well, I recently watched the new Hell's Kitchen episodes because they just had a Hell's Kitchen come on. That was great. That was really, I love that show, man. I really like that show too. Like I've said, man, I like all those cooking shows, and I love the cooking competitions. But I'll tell you, man, if you watch that Master Chef Junior with the little kids, my God, you want every one of them to win. You just don't want to see these kids cry when they get kicked off the show. It's the saddest thing in the world.
Well, you say that because you're a parent. Like, see, I am a sociopath, so it doesn't affect me in the same way. Because like I'll watch these. My grandparents particularly like America's Got Talent or whatever, and I'll sit there and watch that from over at their house, and it just makes me mad. Like, because I feel like if it's not impressive when an adult does it, it's not impressive that a kid's doing it. Like, this is a talent show for everyone. This isn't a kid's talent show. Like, I need you to be as impressive as the guy that's like blindfolded and juggling like flaming bowling pins.
Okay, there's that. Well, you need to watch the Go Big show, I guess, sir.
Apparently.
It was on my DVR. I never got to watch it. I'll have to find a way to. I mean, I know I can find a way, but I'll have to check that show out. I think it already wrapped up. I think it was only 10 or 11 episodes for a first season, which is usual for the first season of a show. So
yeah, it's usually par for the course. I did see that. What's his name? Gordon Ramsay he's doing a traveling show too, and I'm not digging that. Like, don't start trying to do Anthony Bourdain shit. That's really not your lane.
Oh, I thought you meant like the 24/7 to hell and back show he does.
That might be what it is. I don't know. I saw an ad for it. It looked like he was just trying to do like a no reservations type thing.
Well, he's not. He's not. If it's the same show we're talking about, he goes to other restaurants and tries to save them. It's kind of like
no, that's not it.
Okay, because the show that I'm thinking of is kind of like Kitchen Nightmares, but he goes in and basically does the same thing. He just tells these people, we have 24 hours to get this restaurant turned around, and they give him shit the whole time, and he calls people idiots and losers. You know, Gordon Ramsay shit.
Yeah, it's the usual.
Right. You know, par for the course. But I do like MasterChef, and this year they're doing like pros versus something. I forget, but it's like the top chefs thing they're gonna have going against each other. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one, man. I can't wait to watch it.
Nice. Anytime you started with pros versus, that I just automatically defaulted to that old Spike TV show, Pros versus Joes, where they have like the old like 35-year-old, 45-year-old, just like fat balding guy, and he's like, is he as good of a wide receiver as Jerry Rice? Stay tuned to find out. And it's like, of course he's not. Like, why the fuck is anybody watching this bullshit?
Do you remember the Joe Schmo? Did you ever watch that?
Was that the reality show?
Yeah.
No, but I did know that the whole twist was like, oh, he's actually a millionaire.
No, they gave him all the gifts.
I'm thinking of Joe Millionaire. That was
Joe Millionaire.
The show.
Exactly. That's the one right there. Give me one sec. Young Guns. That's the name of it. Hell's Kitchen Young Guns. Mm. And actually, the first new episode is already up right now. That's another one that they're doing. But he's doing Hell's Kitchen and MasterChef together. So, and the MasterChef is, hold on, let me look that up. MasterChef 2021 is Legends. A Legends episode, MasterChef Legends. So, it's probably doing either, I don't know if it's people that have already been there and got kicked off, but a lot of chefs going to be showing up this time. Paula Deen, once again, he likes bringing her on. Emerald, I like Emerald. Emerald was kind of the guy that got me into wanting to watch cooking shows and learn to cook. He used to do a barbecue show, Emerald.
Interesting. The only thing I really remember about him is that he used to have Queen Latifah on the show a lot, and he would call her Queen Latifah, which would always make me laugh.
Well, he's a New Yorker, right?
I guess.
Yeah,
you would know better than I.
Yeah, and I think and New Yorkers add letters to words, and they also take letters from words, kind of like Boston. You know, if there's an R on the end of the word, it doesn't exist in Boston language. Go to the bar. Any others? Give me a word with R at the end.
Well, I mean, based on the history of their sports fans, there is a word that ends in R that they tend to use quite a bit.
Loser? Loser.
Sure, we'll go with that. We'll go with that. We'll go with that one. I was
Loser.
thinking of a bit of a harder R, but yeah, I get what you're going for.
Oh.
Loser is a word they use a lot.
Yeah, loser. See the no R in that word. And then if there's a vowel at the end, they'll add the R. Like, oh, I have an idea. It's like, no.
I love that. I love the word idea. I fucking love that one.
I hate and one of a peeve of mine is when someone pronounces ask X.
Mm-hmm.
It really irks me. I don't know why. I never say anything. I kind of just grind my jaw a little bit, but it's really rough on me. And I know it's just the way some people talk and the way they grew up, and which is why I don't say anything.
Bothers me too. My uncle's kids do that, especially when they were younger. They would go, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not a lumberjack. I don't know if I can help you."
Well, I mean, we got to remember most of my family's from Boston, so
Right.
That's how they talked. And I always just thought they sounded like they didn't know how to talk. But you can't help where you grow up. You can't help where you're from. And if you grew up like that, you also can't help the way you talk. So
This is true. Anytime, like, you have brought up the fact that you're from Boston like a couple of times. It's just anytime I hear you talking about hanging out with your family, I just picture like a room full of Bill Burrs.
no.
I know, and you've said this before too. You said that that's not the case, but that's like my only frame of reference to Boston. So I just picture a bunch of Bill Burrs in one room.
No, it's a bunch of really weird people. Really weird people. And my gay uncle. He's always there. He's always there.
I'm pretty sure that was like a TV show in the late 80s. Stick around on an all-new My Gay Uncle on 8:30 Tuesdays on UPN.
Well, I mean, My Two Dads was close. So
My Two Dads followed by My Gay Uncle Sundays on CBS.
Close.
Yeah, I don't know what show it actually aired on.
I don't either. Let me go ahead and knock this one out real quick, Smart. We'll head back to the news here. Let me knock this one out because it kind of has something to do with the other article, and then we'll get to yours, a couple of yours. Actually, after this, we'll have 3 and 3 left, so that works fine. On the heels of WWE announcing new board members, they also announced new members of the senior leadership team. Now, this is Kevin Dunn's new little team that's basically going to oversee a lot of things. They announced Jamie Horowitz. She'll be coming in as the company to the company as the executive vice president of developmental and digital. There's also a gentleman named Matt Drew. He's going to be the senior vice president of international, and Samira Shah. She will be the general counsel and corporate secretary. So basically what Horowitz is going to do is he's going to oversee all the original content. It says including scripted and unscripted programs for digital and social media. I didn't know they had unscripted programs. He'll also head WWE Studios in Los Angeles. And he recently just worked for that DAZN that's kind of gaining some steam. Smart.
Yeah, DAZN.
Oh, I thought it was actually DAZN.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Zone. Yeah, I don't get why it's spelled that way either. But whatever.
Oh, DAZN. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am getting old. Now, there's also but that is gaining some steam. Like I said, I'm starting to see commercials on apps for it and shit. And I think JR actually has something to do with something they're doing also.
It's sort of just the trend now is that there's a lot of money to be made in terms of like boxing and MMA and that kind of stuff, like celebrity fights and things like that. So that's going to be like the new big trend for a little while, it seems like.
Yeah, there always was. But another gentleman that just worked at DAZN, or DAZN, as Smart just taught me, is Drew. The other guy, Matt Drew, he will oversee the growth of WWE's brand and business outside of the United States. He most recently did work, like I said, for DAZN. So they got two guys over from that DAZN. Must be a reason people are abandoning that company. And then we have the last one, which was Samira Shah. Shah will oversee WWE's legal affairs and serve as principal legal advisor. Recently served as general counsel and corporate secretary at Moda Operandi. What is Moda Operandi? That's a pretty cool name for a company if you think about it. Motive, M-O, Motive Operandi, Moda. Oh, it is a boutique, it looks like, clothing. Yes, it is. A women's designer clothing collection. So absolutely, bring this woman right in there to get wrestling going. Absolutely. I get it. No, I don't. I'm being completely sarcastic. What the fuck? At least
I don't get it either.
I mean, at least the other guy. Well, you know what? If she can make a company successful, I guess that's what they're looking for. And I mean, she's basically just a lawyer. Not like she's going in there a writer or anything. So I'll shut the fuck up. She's a lawyer.
Those damn lawyers.
Yeah. Did they fire McDevitt or whatever his name is?
I don't think so. I've never seen anything saying that they have.
Oh, yeah, we would all know about that one. That one we would all know about. That one we would all know about. So, all right. Well, like I said, I just, they're making a lot of moves. But again, they're building that WWE Studios back up. It's almost like maybe they're looking to sell the wrestling part of the company and wanting to get into the movie business.
Yeah, that's potentially a thing. It's like I'm not disagreeing. That's entirely possible, but just the idea of it, based on that critical acclaim of a lot of their movies, sans maybe Oculus, is just it's kind of a laughable idea. But I wonder if that also has anything to do with the idea of them being on Peacock now. It's like it could be an additional form of content where it's like you get all these new original movies and shit too.
Right. I don't know. I mean, they do have new people right now, like we just mentioned before, new people taking over the digital part, the streaming part. Now they got people taking over the WWE Studios part. Like I said, it almost looks like they're wanting to get into the movie business a little more. I mean, I know Vince always said, we make movies. Sounds like they're really wanting to make movies more than they want to do wrestling at this point. I don't know. I still don't see them selling the actual wrestling part of the company. I just don't see Vince wanting to lose control of anything like that.
It seems like a long shot, but it doesn't. It also doesn't seem like an impossibility. Because I mean, he's getting older. I mean, I guess his mom's like 100 something, so it's like it doesn't seem like he's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. That's not necessarily a concern. And he likes being a control freak, so that's kind of a big thing that would be sort of against that idea. But at the same time, getting older, and then it's sort of this big he could sell it as him being like this media mogul where he started from nowhere. He pulled himself up by his bootstraps, and now he sold his family company for $3 million, $4 million.
Yeah, and listen, I would never say that WWE being sold is a impossibility. WWE has made some moves that no one believed they would ever do. Listen, when they dropped that IPO and became a public company, I don't think anyone expected that ever. I don't think anyone expected it, to be honest with you. So they've made a lot of like I said, moves that people never expected. I would never say anything with WWE is impossible, especially when it comes to the sale or whatever. But it just looks like they're completely restructuring their company for something. Something big is happening and we just can't.
Hopefully.
We just can't see through the muck that is the dirt sheets. Not us, not you guys. The other
What
guys.
is funny though is that the more I see people coming out and claiming that there's no way that's ever going to happen, and if you see any reports about it, it's just a bunch of bullshit. The more I see that, the more I'm like, they're going to do it. Because anytime we're trained, anytime that somebody denies something, it's like, yeah, it's going to happen. But I mean, either way, I think that might be something to be excited about because they need a change somewhere in something. Because like just as a whole, there's a lot of very stagnant shit about that company. There's just a lot of repetition. There seems like a lack of direction.
Absolutely. Most definitely. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, if they've been trying everything they can and their ratings just aren't moving the needle, a good in-house company corporate shakeup is a great idea. Cleaning house, the budget cuts, the release, it doesn't mean you're selling. It could mean a lot of things. Maybe, I mean, they are going back on the road. That could explain what the budget cuts mean. They're looking to, trim down a little bit before maybe they're looking to go back on the road and be more extravagant on the road. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but there's a lot of reasons for releases. I just don't see this company. I'll be honest with you. I don't see this company being sold as long as Vince McMahon is still drawing breath on this earth.
I think it will. I don't have really any other than just the idea of it seems inevitable at some point that it has to happen. Just a matter of when. Like I don't really have any concrete evidence or any really a well thought out theory as to why it is that I think that they're going to do it. It's just sort of a gut feeling where it's just like it seems like we get closer and closer to it being a possibility. Like it started off that there was no way, and then they sold the network, and now they're getting rid of assets and shit like that. And it's just like, it seems more feasible now than it ever has, at the very least.
Well, I mean, Triple H probably is saying, "Listen, Stephanie, if we let him go senile, we can get the company for like $1."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I just, like I said, I would never be arrogant enough to say it's impossible. Like I said, they've made moves that no one ever could believe or would believe. And when it comes to their, finances, they're going to do one thing. They are going to do whatever makes them the most money at that time and into the future. So if you're right, if selling is, I don't think it's inevitable, but it could happen. Again, I would never say never. In anything can happen in WWE, to quote JR.
And that's kind of the interesting thing too, is that creativity wise, creatively, yeah, creatine shakes available at your local GMC. But no, anyways, in terms of creative, it's like they've never been worse, but they're making a shit ton of money. But at the same time, like there has to be a bottom to that because they're making all these money, these big money deals off of television contracts. And at some point, like less and less people are watching every week. We're talking about it, So at some point, you're gonna end up hitting a fucking decline. So it's like maybe you like cash your chips out now.
Maybe. I mean, that again, man, that could be where they're going. Stephanie is selling stock. Like, she does this every year, though. She sells stock for and she just did it now, and their stock is actually up, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like everybody doesn't like their product. Everybody shits on Raw, and everybody like complains about the pay-per-views and all of this. Like in terms of actual reception, critical reception, it gets smeared all the time. But like, everything else is going well for them. Like really well. They're making a lot of money.
Yeah, they are. And again, it's because not running around traveling, doing house shows. That's a good thing. The guys aren't getting run down as much, so I'm sure they're having way less injuries also. Because the guys aren't really traveling; they're staying pretty much in the Thunderdome. They're traveling here and there, but not a lot. So yeah, they are making a lot more money, and merch is selling just as good as it was when they didn't, when they were having live shows. So, listen, if people want your T-shirt, they know they don't have to go to a live show. And I'll tell you the truth, I know a lot of people that just would, if they go to a live show, they still order online. Like they'll stand there in line, and because the line is usually huge when you go, and they'll order it online, and then leave. I've
Seems like
seen,
there's usually a markup for it too.
yeah, I've seen people do it. Literally standing behind me, ordering what they want online, and then walking away. So hey, people want it, they're gonna get it. No, it doesn't have to be standing in front of their face for them to get it anymore. You can. It is in front of their face, online, on their computer screen, on their phone, everywhere. This is not 1982.
I wish it was.
Oh, I wouldn't mind either.
Well, actually, probably not, because I wouldn't have been alive. So that kind of creates an interesting Back to the Future type paradox.
It would, but I mean, hey, they went back to the 1800s, so.
That's true. Oof. I think it was Back to the Future 2 that was like just really depressing.
Might have been. Well, the 3 was where they went back to the 1800s and did the whole Western thing.
Yeah, so it was Back to the Future 2 that was just like, he was dating the guy's mom and he was just like beating her and shit. And it was all just like disturbing and sad.
Well, not quite. Kind of.
I think it was implied. I mean, they didn't show him beating her, obviously, but I feel like it was implied that he was like just like abusive asshole, the Biff character.
Oh, Biff was an asshole. Biff was
Yes.
obviously an asshole. But all right, let's move along before we do anything else here. Smart, you got a couple more here. Once again, man, just roll the dice and we'll get that going, and then we do go back to releases a little bit tonight. But Smart, go ahead with one of yours, please.
Right. So this is from timesleader.com. Everybody knows them, so I don't need to explain what they do. But this is also the Observer reported on this too, so it's legit. Anyways, a city-based wrestling-focused video production company, boy, is that a mouthful, has sued a New Jersey independent wrestling group, accusing the latter of breaching their contract by holding pay-per-view events. IndependentWrestlingTV.com claims it might be out $500,000 over the alleged breach of contract. IndependentWrestling.tv, which is home address of 67... they could be the actual street address. That doesn't matter. According to the suit, Independent Wrestling.tv entered into a contract with Game Changer Wrestling based out of Haddonfield, New Jersey on March 19th, 2020. The suit suggests that Independent Wrestling TV would film, produce, and distribute the New Jersey company's professional wrestling bouts. The suit says that Independent Wrestling.tv and Game Changer Wrestling had agreed to terms that included Independent Wrestling.tv having exclusive rights to hold pay-per-views for Game Changer, but the suit alleges Game Changer changed their minds. That's a tongue twister. On December 1st, 2020, Game Changer informed Independent Wrestling.tv to breach the distribution agreement by producing and live streaming Game Changer's pay-per-view events through an alternate platform, the suit says. The suit goes on to say the Game Changer proceeded to have a total of 36 pay-per-view events between December 5th and May 15th. That's a lot. And Independent Wrestling.tv says were a violation of the cited distribution agreements between the parties. Independent Wrestling.tv claims it notified Game Changer of the alleged breach of contract, but the pay-per-view events continue to occur. The suit says that damages cannot be calculated until Game Changer provides the full amount of revenue garnered by the pay-per-view events, but quote, it is believed the damages are in excess of $500,000. The suit is asking a county judge to enter a judgment in favor of Independent Wrestling.tv. No lawyer of record was listed in the document for the New Jersey company. So basically, the long and short of it is Independent Wrestling.tv suing GCW for $500,000.
So here's what this sounds like. It sounds like they made a deal with this Independent Wrestling.tv, and then It doesn't say if they actually ended up streaming any of their stuff or not, but obviously Fight TV, I believe, was streaming GCW.
Yes, I can confirm that they did at some point because I've watched a
Right.
couple of the GCW shows on IWTV.
Okay.
So
There
at
we
one point they were, and then they entered like in December, I believe it was, or January. They entered these kind of murky grounds where they were talking shit about them and wanting to go somewhere else and like starting this free GCW campaign on Twitter.
So they probably got a contract with Fight TV and with this company. And this is bad. This sounds like they were double dipping, to be honest with you, a little bit. I guess we'll have to just see how this one shakes out. But this is not actually good for Game Changer. If what they allege is true, they could be out that much money. Figure if, I mean, how many, they said they had 36 pay per view events?
Between December 5th and I believe it was May 15th.
Right. So, yeah, that's a good chunk of change right there. 36 events that they lost out on, which they would basically, take the whatever the numbers were on Fight TV, take their numbers and figure out the difference. And I'm sure that's where they're coming up with these numbers. Wow, man, this might not.
There's a little bit more from the Observer. I think I found an article on that. It says on December 26th, GCW tweeted that they were formally requesting to be released from our IWTV contract. This request comes with sadness and regret, but also with the knowledge that there is apparently no other option. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Hashtag free GCW. On the same day, GCW owner Brett Lauderdale sent out a flurry of tweets. Yeah, it's wintertime. That would make sense. Explaining his side of the situation, part of which is below, quote, "This is not a call for sympathy or an excuse. This is an acknowledgement that we are human and get frustrated and emotional when I feel like my company deserves better. In this new world, our existing agreement with IWTV isn't sustainable and we need a change. We have tried to seek a resolution privately, but we're not having much luck. IWTV will thrive with or without GCW. We want the opportunity to do the same. Hope you understand. Thanks." And he was posting even stuff as of like today, just like talking shit about them. So they've had a back and forth for quite a while.
Yeah, but he's kind of admitting a breach of contract.
Oh yeah, like it just doesn't necessarily look great for them. Like I'm kind of on board with your theory of like it seemed like they could make more on Fight TV,
Right.
and they were upset about that, and they kind of fucked themselves by going with IWTV. Because I mean, obviously, like anybody knows, Fight TV is a way bigger platform.
Yeah, and the key word in that lawsuit is going to be exclusive. The fact that they had exclusive rights to stream, and because exclusive means they were the only ones that could be able to stream that. So, yeah, it sounds like it sounds like they just went for the more money. I'm not shitting on them for that. The way they went about it sounds like they didn't go about it very business-like.
Right.
But
there's a lot that we don't know at the moment that
Yeah.
will probably come out through time on this one, because there's no real, like I just read two different articles and there's no real concrete evidence as to what it is that is suspected to have happened. There's a lot of just sort of, talking in circles basically from both parties, especially like Brett's end of the deal. So we'll figure out more as time goes by, but right now, details are kind of murky. But I'm agreeing with your theory on this. But that being said, that is a lot of money for an independent promotion. So if they end up losing this suit, might not be great for their long-term future.
plus, you're going to be looking at the court fees for the other side. So you're looking at more than 500,000. You're looking at 500 plus. Yeah. I guess we'll see what happens with that. You're right. It is going to take some time to shake out. But like I said, Brett needs to stay the fuck off Twitter. He's literally burying himself. But it looks like what Brett Lauderdale, GCW's owner, wants to do is go on more than one streaming service. And he's right now probably stuck with Fight TV, but I mean, if this company said the words, we have exclusive rights to your streaming, your shows, you're in breach of contract and you've got no case. You are going to lose. You're going to lose, which I don't know. Maybe the fact that there's no lawyer means Brett's trying to settle out of court, which might be the best goddamn idea he's ever had. Don't know if I got a feeling a company like that might just, say, fuck you, we'd rather go to court. Let's see, we'll probably get more if we go to court. Yeah, so good luck, GCW, on that one. Sounds like you don't have a case to me. Just I ain't no lawyer, but and I've never played one on TV either. So,
Well, that's a shame.
I'm sorry.
It feels like that would be right up your avenue.
It wouldn't be bad. I would have fun with it. I would. So keep going, Smart.
Sure. Well, yeah, as far as that goes, there's really not too much more to talk about there, but that's something to kind of keep in mind, keep up to date with, because like I said, they lose that, they could probably be fucked big time. I do agree with your sentiment, though. Like, a lot of people need to stay off Twitter. Like, I appreciate Brad for being as transparent as he is about pretty much everything. But with these particular issues, that's something that you just need to hold close to your vest until everything plays out.
Yeah, once you've got legal involved, you need to just stop everything. And any lawyer, which is why you should get a lawyer, would tell you, do not say another word about this. Shut up. Let the law do its thing. Just
Oh yeah, that was another thing in relation to that. Is I saw some, like, he put out a tweet talking about it earlier this afternoon, and somebody was like, "Dude, you need to get a lawyer." Like basically what you just said. Like, you need to shut the fuck up and go hire a lawyer.
Yeah.
And he responded to that with, "I don't like liars." And I'm like, well, okay, but that's not gonna save your company. Like, a moral high ground isn't going to help at a time like this.
Yeah, there's plenty of things I don't like that we have to deal with in life. You can't just do this yourself. Boy. What's the saying?
He's gonna fucking bring out Clarence Mason.
Oh, I could just see Brett trying to represent himself. They do say that a client who represents himself has a idiot for a lawyer.
Nick Gage comes into the courtroom with a fucking briefcase full of thumbtacks.
Look, see Nick Gage and Corpy, his lawyer. a suit with the arms ripped off and MDK shirt underneath it. Look, Judge, tell these motherfuckers to suck my dick. MDK all fucking day, bitch.
This fucking shit that you're fucking doing is real fucked up, man.
Man.
Be like, all right, no further questions.
All right. Anyway, I don't want to piss off Nick Gage. I actually like Nick Gage, but anyway, Smart. Go ahead and proceed with whatever.
Sure. Well, I sent you two more things. Well, just two left as to what I sent. One of them is a trailer, so I don't know if you have that at the ready, but I was going to give you a heads up on that. But the other one that I have, this is it's from Twitter. Apparently, Britt Baker has received a rather interesting reward, shall we say, for her win at the pay-per-view, the Women's Championship match that she won. So I'm actually going to just go ahead and read from her Twitter account. It says, quote, "Thank you at McDonald's for sending me 1,500 Big Mac coupons for my championship celebration tonight. Love ya, XOXO." And it says here, let's see, hashtag, it's from like the McDonald's people, somebody from the fucking corporate office somewhere. The little note that she posted on here, it says, hashtag BritMac. Congratulations on this accomplishment. Hope these coupons keep your fans well fed on your favorite. Oh, and keep your eyes peeled. We've got another little something coming your way. Your friends at McDonald's. So Britt Baker is now in possession of a coupon for, well, not a coupon, but 1,500 Big Macs.
That is a lot of Big Macs.
Indeed.
I mean, I like me a Big Mac, but that's a lot of Big Macs, dude. I'm looking for the video here. and I can't find it.
It works for me in the link I sent you here.
Oh, there it is. I got it. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold
So this
on.
sort of, well, I had kind of sent that to you as just a sort of a backdoor way of talking about food. So it's
Whoa!
like,
You
okay,
don't have to mention backdoor when you talk about China.
I immediately regretted the decision to use the words backdoor and food together in a sentence.
What do you think
That's
she is,
regrettable.
Sonny?
Well, there you go. But let's play around with this idea for a minute. You got 15, she has 1,500 Big Macs at her disposal now for free. If you had to get one item from any like fast food place that you could get 1,500 of them, what are you picking?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. It has to be one particular item though, so it can't be like 1,500 things at McDonald's or Burger King or whatever.
Oh, no. So I have one burger I'm picking from one place.
It doesn't even have to be a burger. It could just be like anywhere in fast food. So if you wanted to get like something from Taco Bell or
Oh, fast food, something I would get. Um, you know what I would do? I would get, you know what I would like? 1,500 Arby's Reubens. The Reuben sandwich. Corned beef, Thousand Island salad dressing, and sauerkraut. We've had the sauerkraut talk.
yeah, we have.
Yeah, I know you think I'm a little psycho, but anyway.
I've never really been a big fan of sauerkraut.
Yeah. Now I do like the Big Mac. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's got Thousand Island salad dressing on it. That is the special sauce. I'm sorry, I ruined it for some people. I apologize.
See, I think what I would do is I'll even stay with the McDonald's thing. They're not my favorite restaurant, but we'll just stay in McDonald land for a while.
Oh,
And I'd go with like 1,500 of the chicken nuggets, the big
oh,
nuggets. Oof.
oh.
They would still, in typical tradition of McDonald's, they would still only give you like 2 dipping sauces. But
Good God, I wish they would air fry those things. They are so greasy, man.
that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, those things they hurt my stomach thinking about them. Uh, put it that way.
Well, now then amplify that by 1,500.
Yeah. I would go with the Arby's Reuben. I could take 1,500 of those bad boys. They're good.
I do like Arby's. I'm not really a Reuben person, but I do like Arby's. They got some good stuff. They got like the brisket's good. The chicken sandwiches are good.
I do remember that. I remember the Big Mac song because I heard it so many goddamn times when I was a child.
I did too. I couldn't remember the lyrics because when you said that, I started trying to remember them, and the Burger
Oh.
King jingle got stuck in my head.
Oh no! Well, it's 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onion on a sesame seed bun.
I started trying to remember it, and the only thing I could think of was hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special orders, don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us have it your way, which is, again, Burger King. So that was
Burger
of
King.
no real use to anyone.
That was Burger King, but yeah, man, I eat way too much fast food because I mean I go out for like today. I ran to Taco Bueno.
Mm-hmm.
They have those. They're called the big freaking tacos. They're good. Double the meat. I think I've said this on the show before, recently actually. But that's what I get.
I know. I don't remember if you said it on the show, but you've definitely talked to me about going there for lunch.
Yep, I got 4 of them today.
Nice.
Yesterday I ran by Schlotsky's. Got a large pastrami and Swiss. They always tell me, they're like, are you sure you want a large? I'm like, look, I know it's $13. Please give me what I asked for. Shut the fuck up. Give me my sandwich. Put it on dark rye and shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Have that problem a lot at Panda Express because the chicken and the shrimp are always $1 upcharge.
Oh,
so I was
yeah.
like, well, it's $1 extra. He says, yeah, I know
Oh.
it's $1 extra.
You like the walnut shrimp?
I do.
Oh, that is good. It is good. It is so sweet and yummy, and the crunch. I like the walnut shrimp too. That's good
I
stuff.
like the walnut shrimp. The usual go-to is just the orange chicken and Beijing beef, though. Because
That's good.
I like the Beijing beef because Beijing beef is like always like real kind of crunchy, like kind of crispy. I like the texture of it. And then the orange chicken is good, but then the orange chicken is usually a mystery because for
Mm.
whatever ungodly known reason, sometimes it tastes like kind of sweet and then sometimes it tastes fucking super spicy. I don't understand what the formula is there, but that's usually the case.
I don't know. Probably depends on who cooks it, to be honest with
Right.
you. But yeah, I got a Panda Express right across the street. But man, where I'm going, we ain't got much fast food within distance, so we're gonna have to figure something out around the house. But it'll be different. Um, yeah, man, fast food. I just eat way too much of it. Need to back off that shit.
See, that's another option. Since you're talking about tacos, they have the naked chicken chalupa back at Taco Bell. Oh my God, that is perfect. Like that is all I need. And just fucking no taco shell, just straight up chicken, and then fucking other vegetables and cheese and ingredients inside of the chicken. It's wonderful stuff.
Wow. Now I told you about this place. We have a place here that a Sonic closed down, which, believe it or not, you don't see a Sonic closed down in Texas very much. A Sonic closed down, and a place called Wing Dash opened in its place. They do chicken wings, they do chicken tenders, they do all kinds of things. But the one thing they do is a Philly cheesesteak. And I hadn't been there. It's right across the street from work. I hadn't been there. I kept not going. And someone said, try the Philly. I said, all right, I'll do it. It was huge. You know those, the large to-go boxes you get?
Mhm.
Okay. This is one with just a box, no separations, not the triple, not the, two and the every. It literally was busting out of the carton, this thing, and just packed with meat and cheese and onions and it was so fucking good. But just I've never heard of the place. It's not a big chain. It's kind of a hole in the wall. But they got some good ass food, man. And I'm so glad I went and tasted that son of a bitch. But I'll tell you what, man, you do that for lunch, you regret it about an hour after when you're fucking, where's a 5 hour energy? You're dozing off from the carbs.
There you go.
It was so good though, man. But yeah, it's called Wing Dash. I haven't seen another one. That's the only one I've seen. It's so good though. It was really good. Now everyone tells me to go back for the wings. Obviously, that's probably what they're known for. I just don't like doing wings for lunch. It's just not enough. So, but I'm gonna go back and try them. I'm gonna try them. Like I said, it's right across the street from where I work. But and it's just rare to see a Sonic close down. Also, like I said, around here, there's a few things you don't see closed down. Few things do not see closed down around here. Sonics, Whataburger. You'll never, if you see a Whataburger closed down, boy, you're in a bad spot. Weeb says Wingstop. I like Wingstop. Wing Zone don't have any here. We do. We do have a really good chain restaurant here called Dick's Wings. And God, yes, the place that we see on Daly's place, Dick's Wings, they got some good shit, man.
Nice. Yeah, there's no Wingstop around here, unfortunately. I've always wanted to try them because they got a lot of different good-looking things. I've perused their menu before. I like boneless wings. I don't really like the bone-in wings, but I like boneless wings or nuggets, I guess, if you want to really be technical about it.
Yeah, if I eat wings, I need those bone-in wings, man. I don't like, every time I've ever, boneless wings just always taste overcooked to me.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but that's actually, again, that's sort of the incentive for me is it's like kind of crispy. And you get like a nice little, and then like with the bone-in wings, for me, it seems like you don't really get the flavor as much. Like you get it like on the first bite or two maybe, but then at the rest of it, you're just eating like regular ass chicken.
Oh man, I don't know, man. See, Weave says drumette. My kid gets all drums because he doesn't like the flats.
See, this is a topic of that age-old topic of debate. I used to work for a couple of years, 2 years, at a Pizza Hut that did wings, and it would always be fucking annoying because you like every couple of orders it would be either all flats or all drums.
Huh.
And the thing is that like we would like pre-bag most of them. So I would have like a shit ton of already bagged wings.
Yeah.
So I would just get mad that they would actually expect me to do extra work. Because
Yeah.
I was in my very early 20s and I was just kind of like an entitled piece of shit. So I was just like, ah, you fuckers making me do my job at my job, you bunch of assholes.
Son of a bitches. Christopher Kane
Some
asks,
of us are trying to be hungover on a Tuesday, you fuckheads.
yeah, or every day. Christopher Kane asks, is there still Church's Chicken in Texas? There are, but they're actually getting fewer and further between. I had one right down the road from me, connected to a gas station, and it closed down. But they're good. I talk about greasy chicken. Jesus Christ, you have to like paper towel their fucking chicken off, dude. It's just, I mean, but we had one, and that one closed down, and another little thing opened up in that gas station, but I've never tried it. We do have a new, like a really new cafe that just opened up down the street that I want to try, and we have a new one over here. Before we leave, I want to try. So I don't know, because I don't know what in the hell is around where I'm moving. So.
I had the same kind of problem that you're in the process of having of just I moved a couple of months ago, and it was a matter of like not really knowing what's going to be out here in terms of like food options. And there's a pretty kind of limited amount of like fast food, but much to my surprise and delight and pleasure, there is what can only be described as a fuck ton of like small locally owned Mexican restaurants, which is just wonderful.
Well, I mean, those are all over the place in Texas. But I'll tell you what, you go to a small town, most of them have a ton of Mexican restaurants. Tex-Mex, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's also, it's a bigger in terms of population percentage. There's a lot of Hispanic, Latino, Mexican people over there. But like around here, we don't really have a lot of Hispanic people in terms of like population. Like it's a very small number. So it's like surprising that there is as many Mexican restaurants as there are. I'm not at all complaining. It's an absolute delight, but it was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, even though most of the Mexican restaurants here are chains, like on the border, El Phoenix, a lot of chain restaurants around here that are Mexican or Tex-Mex, like I said, but tons of restaurants around here, man. Texas is Dallas especially. I mean, it is covered with restaurants. They're all over the fucking place, man. It's just ridiculous how many restaurants are here, and you just can't go to them all. You can't. Oh, and another thing that's big here are the Brazilian steakhouses.
Oh, yes, I love those.
Oh, yeah. Just keep giving you meat until you feel like you're going to fucking puke, and then you turn that fucking card over to red. Oh, yeah. I love those places. I smoke a good fucking doob on the way to those places. Just get that. Just get that appetite kicking, get those munchies, and then just go in and be like, don't fucking move, pal. You give me my meat off that fucking sword right now.
See, I love that and I hate that because I'm also like, I have bad hand-eye coordination sometimes. I could be clumsy a bit every so often, even without the aid of any sort of intoxicants. So it's just like I have a hard time. Like every so often, I'll just have a real fucking struggle getting the meat off of that little like spit that they use.
Yeah, I need to get my kids out to one of those. I wonder what it's like now during COVID. Probably weird, but...
I actually went to one of those during COVID. It's not as weird as you think.
All right.
Like it's just other than just you wear a mask, but they still do the same thing because they're in charge of the food.
Yeah.
It's like way safer than a buffet would be at this point.
And I just went to a buffet the other day. So, all right, I'll take that. I need to get the kids out there. I think my older one would love it because he loves fucking beef and steak and meat. So I need to get him out there, man. He'd love this. So that'll be fun. And usually if you go to those during the day, they're a lot cheaper. Like at lunches, are a lot cheaper than dinners. So I'll take him out there.
Just as a small aside from that, um, I was in the process of interviewing to work at one of those places, and I came in for the interview, and the lady, I was interviewing with this lady, and she is a full-on Brazilian lady, and she was pretty attractive. So like I was trying my best not to be like weird about it, but I felt like I maybe made a little bit too much eye contact, and I felt like that might have been the reason I didn't get the job. Because I was like, I do not know what an appropriate amount of eye contact is this position. Because normally it's like some fucking weird like dude just in general that I have no interest in being friends with. So I usually just kind of look at him every so often and then look away.
So you were doing just look her in the eye, look her in the eye.
Yeah, but then I don't know if I was just in my own head or not. If I was just like looking way too much at her, like just in the eyes. I was like, am I looking too much? Is this creepy? And then I kept, but then like my response to that would be just to look down. So then I go from like looking somebody dead in the eyes to looking at my shoes, which probably made it worse.
Probably. She probably thought you were looking at her pants or something.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Anyway. Wow. Man, I'm getting really hungry after all this food conversation.
Yeah.
Smart, go ahead and bring up your that last one. I do have that trailer ready to go whenever you're ready for me to play it.
Sure, I'm going to bring that up here in just a moment. We've been talking quite a bit about the Dark Side of the Ring. The last episode that they aired this Thursday or yesterday. I guess they did the Grizzly Smith one. So that is the one that I think we all talked about, how we kind of weren't necessarily looking forward to that as much. Because, I mean, it's well done. They always are well done. But that one in particular seems like it's just going to be really depressing. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't say. But Vice, even outside of Dark Side of the Ring, they're going to be doing some more in the field of wrestling documentaries. This comes from Yahoo.com. A new documentary from Vice will dive into the life of Joanie Lawler, the pioneering WWE performer better known by her ring name Chyna, who died of an overdose in April 2016. Joanie, aka Chyna's meteoric rise and fall, is the stuff of Shakespearean drama. How pretentious. But underneath all that flash, she was an intelligent and sensitive person who struggled with addiction. Vice versa, Chyna director Mara Strach, we're going to say that's her name. I don't know if it is or if it isn't. You don't know that I'm incorrect. It says in a statement to People, the film will premiere on Vice TV on June 17th at 9 p.m. Eastern and features interviews with Lawler's mother and other WWE legends, including Mick Foley, Sean Waltman, and Billy Gunn. Quote, this documentary will give viewers an intimate and unfiltered view of her personal journey as a pop culture icon. Kind of exaggerating a bit, and beyond will compassionately tell the story of Chyna's last year of life. Lawler rose to fame as a member of Degeneration X, the six-member faction that helped to cement WWE as a powerhouse entertainment brand in the 1990s and early 2000s. And then it goes on to tell you what DX is, and I feel like everyone here already knows. So, if you need a refresher, I'll post the link in the chat, but everybody gets the idea.
There you go. And, I really don't think calling Chyna a pop culture icon is a stretch. I mean, she was on reality shows back then. She was also she was in Playboy. She definitely had a lot of followers, and I don't think it's a big stretch calling her a pop culture icon.
Well, I think it's it can sometimes be, at least for me, easy to forget just how big fucking wrestling was at that point in time.
Oh, yeah.
Where like pretty much everybody that was on that roster was an icon in a sense. It was just as popular as it was.
Dude, you literally would be in restaurants and hear just like businessmen sitting there in suits talking about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just that. And DX was huge. China was a part of that. And I just think I definitely think calling her a pop culture icon is not a stretch at all. I think it's actually pretty much what she was before her fall, unfortunately. But let's go ahead and play this real quick. It's only 30 seconds. I haven't seen it. I hope it's not very visual, but let's find out right now.
No one had ever seen the likes of her before. In my mind, we haven't seen the likes of her since.
Joni was all about trusting people, being loyal.
Once she was let go, it's like she was completely erased.
I'd become this monster, you know? This is just a fucked up business.
Nobody wanted her. She needed help.
There is not another China, and there never will be.
Vice Versa presents China.
All right, there you go. No, not much. It looks. I'm starting to wonder now if this is the footage that her manager had of her. If you remember a long time ago, we talked about, it wasn't me and you, it was actually on the THT show, that her manager had a bunch of footage that he was trying to, I believe, profit off of, but he had a bunch of footage of her that no one had. So I got a feeling some of this is that. That last year of hers is going to be very tough to watch because she was in a very dark place at that point. So that's going to be another tough one, man. Vice just put out a lot of tough shit to watch, man. But they're getting, a lot of people are watching them. Even non-wrestling fans are watching these shows.
This is true.
Yep.
And yeah, we were talking about that before. Is like, I mean, if anything can potentially help to restart the sort of popularity that wrestling had, I don't think you're ever going to quite get to what it was, back in the late '90s, early 2000s. But that's certainly an avenue for it. Is just actually getting the average person to realize the kind of personalities that are behind everything.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely, man. But. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. But like I said, Vice is just putting all kinds of stuff out there, man. It's just really, it's like they're trying to just tear at our heartstrings and shit. But I don't know. That again, that's going to be hard to watch those last years of China, especially that last year of her life. Because like I said, she was in a very dark place. We all saw videos where a lot of people were worried about her. And I don't know, man. She almost kind of reminds me of that... Anna Nicole Smith a little bit. Her manager was kind of taking advantage of her too and doing some weird shit, and suddenly she's dead, and then China kind of follows suit. It was almost the same kind of, not the exact same, kind of the same story. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
and if you're looking for levity, a little bit of it's 12 minutes long, so we're not going to play it, but a little bit of an extracurricular activity. YouTube Doug Stanhope, a touching tribute to China. He does a 12-minute bit, and I will not spoil it, but he had a very interesting experience in a hotel room with some of her filmography, we'll say.
Yeah. He's a crazy dude, Stanhope. He was probably tripping balls or something, but who knows? All right.
Love the guy. Got both of his books.
Really? All right. Cool.
Yeah, they're good books. Pretty good.
Cool. All right, let's get to this last article, and then we'll knock out SmackDown, and we'll get on out of here. Actually, I think we're going to knock out these last little things, and then I'm going to pee, and then we'll do SmackDown, because I've got to do that. My system was all thrown off this morning. I usually have a seltzer water on the way to work, but I didn't have any cold, so I didn't take one. And my God, I think I drank 8 cups of water. Oh, my God. And, the big, 8 of these in the morning just to try to... I might have had a few beers last night. Anyway, again, back to the releases real quick. We're going to go ahead and get back to those. Ruby Riott is one that was released, and we talked about it, Smart, that, I think she'd be a great addition to AEW. Whoever gets her is going to be very lucky to have her because she's definitely a good talent. She put out a pretty lengthy statement, basically thanking everyone, that she had worked with, basically thanking the coworkers, friends, family, fans, of course. I'm not going to read the whole thing; it's pretty long. But what I thought was cool was The Rock even put out a little statement about Ruby Riott. A lot of people joined in on this, but The Rock was the main one that everyone kind of focused on. Was he said, "You will resurface stronger, wiser, and better." Thank you for the awesome birthday vid. I guess she made a birthday video for The Rock. I didn't see that and didn't search it out, but definitely, like I said, I was a little surprised they got rid of her. And I mean, Jesus Christ, they couldn't even throw Liv Morgan a bone and let her win tonight. They, they can her partner, and they still have her go out there and lose to Carmella.
Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering what they were going to do with her because it seemed like maybe there was going to be an opportunity to give her a bit of a push in the singles division, but no, she ate a pinfall rather quickly.
Definitely rather quickly, but pretty cool. The Rock, and again, a lot of Mick Foley even said something about her. A lot of people chimed in and did say something about Ruby Riott. I think that's kind of cool. I've always said she's a good talent, and I think, like I said, a lot of companies are going to be very lucky in September when her 90 days is up and she can go work somewhere else. But if you want to check out the statement she made, it's on her Instagram. So you can go ahead and check that out right there. Man, like I said, a lot of people were thinking Braun was pretty much mainly the surprise. I really think Ruby was a more of a shock to me than Braun or anyone being let go, to be honest. Like I said, she got nothing and still got it over. Her and Liv were doing good. It seemed to be like she had some support from the IWC, and suddenly she's gone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a shame. I feel bad for her because it seemed like she had actually wanted to be there. Sometimes it's hard to tell when people get released if it's actually something that they wanted or if it was, actually something that they were fighting against. And it seemed like she was actually trying to fight against that. And I was also seeing some things that apparently Lana was pitching a bunch of ideas for things that she could do. So it's like it's a little bit sad when you start seeing these people that were actually trying their best to preserve their jobs and it just didn't end up happening.
Well, you see that story a lot. I was pitching this, I was pitching that. They said no. Suddenly I was gone. But Ruby Riott didn't need to pitch anything. She was in a storyline. She was with a tag team. Her and Liv worked great together. And next thing you know, she's gone. So I don't know, man. I think it's but again, I think it says something about her talent and the fact that, like I said, it's almost like WWE was holding her back. I like I said, I've seen some of her stuff as Heidi Lovelace, and was really good. I really do like what she can do, and like I said, she's going to be an asset to some company out there. Let's see who it's going to be. And I could see her going back to WWE down the road eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
It seems like that's kind of the general consensus on what may end up happening with Braun is that he might take a break and we'll see about coming back later on. Apparently what I was reading was Meltzer was saying that they viewed him as being 2 years past his prime, which is like pretty fucking harsh, but
yeah,
maybe not untrue.
Maybe not. I don't know, but that's kind of that's a pretty harsh statement to make about someone who's a homegrown WWE guy who you made.
Right. And then in addition to that, he was also saying that he suspects that it had something to do with the fact that they've got new toys in there now. Because they got Almas, they got a couple of other big guys that they're starting to bring in. The guy that was with Jinder Mahal, Shanky, I think his name was.
Yep.
So they got a couple of new big guys and fucking Commander Aziz that they've been using on SmackDown. So now Vince has himself a new batch of big men that he can play with. So
yeah, I guess it's not worth keeping Braun around. But someone else Smark had a little something to say about the releases that happened. And it would be, of course, CM Punk, who always kind of says a little something, has a little jab for everybody. John Squires of Bloody Disgusting, I think it's bloodydisgusting.com. I think they're a website, aren't they? I think they are.
Yeah, because they actually primarily do horror.
Right.
Because it's like horror news and reviews, and they have a Bloody Disgusting channel on Roku. So they do some streaming television as well. I watch that quite a bit, actually.
All right. Well, John Squires, Mr. A blue check mark, decided to go ahead and chime in on this and say, on the releases, say one thing that has consistently bummed me out about WWE in recent years is that there's been a wealth of incredible talent in that company, but they really rarely seem to really know what to do with any of it. This latest wave of releases is a true stunning reflection on that issue. Can't say I disagree. CM Punk chimes in right after that, replies back to Mr. Squires. It's like a movie with a blockbuster budget and cast, but if it's written by creatively bankrupt nincompoops, specifically for an audience of one, in a language no one understands anymore, it's trash. But people watch it because they like movies. Okay, this is kind of a word salad, in a way.
Yes, let us not lose sight of the fact that he unironically used the term nincompoops.
Yeah, can I translate this a little bit into what I believe CM Punk meant?
It sucks, but people like watching wrestling because it's wrestling.
Mostly, yes. That's one part of it. Here, let me read it how I believe CM Punk should have said it. It's like a movie with a blockbuster budget and cast. But if it's written for some old dude named Vince McMahon who is completely out of touch with everything pop culture today, then it's garbage. And people watch it because it's a fucking habit and they've been watching it for years.
Yep,
I'm
pretty much.
Slightly paraphrasing there, I believe.
More or less, yeah.
That's what I think he wanted to say and was like, how do I put this where I'm not going to get a huge backlash of WWE idiots coming at me? So, but you know what? Where's the lie, Spark? Where's the lie, man? Where's the lie in what he said here? Tell me.
No, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, this has always been lament, or it has been the lament for several years at this point, that they have an ultra-talented roster, but it seems completely directionless in terms of creative sometimes. It's just like, it's the same matches over and over again, and they have like literally, I think it was like 203 or 205 wrestlers, they said. Somebody did like counted them all up at some point, and that was like what they came up to. But it was anyways just dozens upon dozens upon dozens of wrestlers, and it's still we get the same fucking matches over and over and over again, and the same feuds over and over and over again, and it just gets to be a bit redundant.
Well, and the other three words that mean something in here is creatively bankrupt nincompoops. He's talking about the writers, obviously. I know you all know that. I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. He's obviously talking about the writers here, and he's right. They are writing for an audience of one, Vince McMahon, in a language no one understands. Vinceisms. Vincentese. There you go. Very good, Smark. And in a language no one understands anymore. No one understands Vincentese anymore. It was the Attitude Era when people understood that. Unfortunately now, vomit, poopy, and fart jokes just aren't as funny as they used to be. And, but like he says, creatively bankrupt nincompoops. When you can't figure out storylines for a Braun Strowman, who literally the guy is just a goddamn beast who you should have out there as a monster. When you can't figure out a storyline for a Aleister Black, who, okay, Booker T said, the dark character would never have been any more. Basically, Booker T said it was never going to be any more than a a mid card character. Whatever. Who cares?
Yes, because that's exactly what the Undertaker was. Huh?
Absolutely. You know, those dark characters are just really hard to get over. My God, fucking Booker T. But I don't know. I think, like I said, that CM Punk may have made a little word salad. I think he was trying to make it a little PC. But in all these words, there is no lies. He just tried to make it a little more elegant than
Right.
some people would have, in my opinion. So, you got any more on that, man?
No, I totally agree with that. I mean, it's kind of the same things that we've been talking about before. It's just total lack of direction.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Just lack of direction. Writers don't know what to do, where to go, where to turn, and it's showing. It's showing every Raw. I don't understand why SmackDown is able to pull off a decent show every week when Raw can't do jack shit. But I don't know. But on that note, Smark, if you're all right with that, I'm going to take a quick break, quick pee. We'll come back. We'll get SmackDown done, and maybe we'll look to see if there's any more news to dig into after that. But give me about 2-3 minutes here. I'll be right back. In the meantime, enjoy a song or two, and be right back. All right. Holy hell, do I feel better. All right, everybody. Whew. That had to be done. That felt like the 3 a.m. piss I took last night after drinking 8 beers. Whew. Okay, I can concentrate again. I can breathe. I think my eyeballs may have been floating. I'm not quite sure. But we are back. Thanks, everybody, for letting me do that. You lucky downloaders. I didn't think that was fast. That was like a 3-minute piss. That was awful. But thank you, Sensible Sam. I appreciate that, though. Wanted to get back. I don't want to keep you guys. It's Friday. You guys want to get to sleep or get to watch TV or do whatever you do. And we are going to go ahead and, I guess, knock out SmackDown after that. And once again, I still say SmackDown, much better show than Raw. Much, much better. Smart, we once again start out with Roman Reigns, as usual. Took 6 minutes to start talking, as usual.
They had to have been doing this on purpose, because I tuned in. Usually, I can always tune in a couple minutes late if I'm having to do something and I don't miss anything. So we've always talked about it. It's like the SmackDown guarantee. It always starts at 5 minutes after the hour.
Right.
Well, I tune in at 8 o'clock, or I tune in the exact time. Depending on your time zone, but 8 o'clock for me. And then right as the show is starting, and he's coming out at like 8:01. So I'm like, all right, he'll actually probably be in the ring and be talking by about like 8:03. He purposely drew it out for as long as humanly possible, so that by the time the entrance was over, he had the microphone in his hand for a while. They kept hitting the fucking automated crowd booing button, just letting things really simmer. So by the time he finally started talking, it was again 5 minutes after the hour. I'm like, they have to be doing this shit on purpose at this point.
Yeah, they've got to be. Now, I got to tell you, now I'm glad you brought up the piped in booing and stuff like that. I think they're in for a surprise when they get back to live crowds with how the crowd's going to react to some of the people they've been putting really running the narrative for. I think Roman Reigns is going to get cheered more than you think he is. I think a lot of people were waiting for this Roman Reigns, and I think they're liking this Roman Reigns, which is going to get cheers for the heel character. And I'll tell you, I think you're going to get a lot of women cheering for him because a lot of girls like the bad boy.
Well, it's bad boy for life. Take that.
Well, I mean, there's that, but I mean, let's face it, a lot of girls do. They like the bad boy. And I think you're going to get a lot of surprises for some of the people they think are heels are not going to be as heel reactions as they think, and I think a lot of people that they think are baby faces are going to get booed. And I think they're going to get a lot of shocking reactions that they've been pushing the narrative, and then now they're going to get actual people in there who actually, cheer who they want and, boo who they want. I just think WWE's in for a bit of a surprise when they get live fans back in there. Mark, what do you think?
I think that too. I would think more so. I was actually thinking about that a lot more when I was watching Raw this week, because I feel like they're going to be surprised, A, with how over Lashley is, and B, I don't think Drew is as over as I think he is, especially the fact that they keep having him challenge for the belt over and over again. I feel like people are starting to get burned out on him a little bit. But with Roman, to stay to the SmackDown specific point, I think he's going to be over pretty big too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't think about that, but you're right. I think Lashley is going to be way more over than they expect. I don't think he's going to get booed like they would want him to either. I think he's going to get cheered. I think Reigns, but I didn't think about that. The Raw aspect of it, that's going to be another one where they're going to be. But tonight just made me think of it when they're sitting there playing these huge boos for Roman Reigns. I just don't think you're going to get it. Now, that does not mean that they're not going to pipe that shit in and try. I mean, they did it when Reigns was a babyface. He was getting booed, and they would pipe in, even on Hulu, they would pipe in different. Matter of fact, we did it on this show one night. We played the actual reaction and the Hulu reaction to Roman Reigns.
Right.
We did that one night. I remember that. It was a long, long time ago, but we did it. It's just, I think they're in for a very surprising reaction for a lot of the guys that they've been able to run that narrative however they want to lately. So it's going to be interesting. And I'm really, like I said, I was glad you mentioned it, because I was thinking that watching SmackDown when they've got these piped in boos and these "you suck" chants for Roman Reigns. I don't think you're going to get those like you think they are.
Not as much at the very least. Like, I'm sure he'll probably still get some boos, because even the people that just didn't like him before, even now that he's heel, it's just like, I didn't like him already. Mm-hmm. Even if he's doing good work as a heel, it's like, I didn't like him before. Fuck this guy. There's some people in that camp, and then there's some people that just naturally like to play along and boo heels, which can be fun sometimes. But yeah, I don't think he's going to get nearly as much boos as they suspected. That's going to be sort of the more fun thing to kind of witness overall is within the next couple of weeks, because they start in July on both shows, just what their perception is versus what the reality is, who the people are actually behind, what the people actually like, what the people actually don't like.
Right. Now we're going to know who's over, who's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I would expect a little shakeup after a couple of months back on the road.
Well, they normally do the draft or whatever. They call it the superstar shakeup in Vince language, Vintonese, as we like to call it. So, but they haven't done that yet. They haven't done the post-WrestleMania draft, so they'll probably save that for once live crowds start up again. Just gives them an opportunity to switch around the rosters a little bit, get new storylines going, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, it'd be a much better idea to wait till crowds are back and see how they react to people. That would be a much better idea for them. So if that's what they're waiting for, great. But like we said, Reigns was in the ring, and he summoned the Usos. They came out. Jay paid his respects to Roman, and Jimmy's just like, God damn, you're a little bitch. Again, I'm paraphrasing. Slightly.
Yeah.
Slightly. Not much. But that's kind of the look Jay had for me. And this storyline played on throughout the night. We'll jump into it as it goes. But again, we knew this week was going to be the Usos versus Dominic and his dad for the SmackDown tag title, Smart.
That's right.
My first note, the announce table no sold for Jay and Ray, or Ray and Jay, whatever you want to say.
I like Ray and Jay better.
Like Ray J?
Kind of reminds me of like E&J, the brandy.
Oh, look at you wanting to have a drink or two. Very nice. Very nice. But
It's sort of my default. I have it's one of my areas of expertise, so I default to it every so often. But but yeah, I saw that he went for like a Samoan drop through the table, I think it was, and it just did not give at all, and it looked like it really did hurt like a motherfucker.
maybe I thought it was Randy. Because the table no sells for Randy every time. So maybe I thought it was Randy doing it. I don't know. Confused table. But yeah, the table did no sell for those two. I gotta say, I really like this match. I was really loving this match. You know, I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling, and the Usos I think are really good. And you know what, Dominic once again I think went out there and showed that he's definitely worthy of being in the position he's in. But the Usos lose. Go ahead, Smart.
That's right. Well, yeah, they lose. I was going to say also to keep the kind of food talk going. Dominic had a very creamsicle-inspired attire tonight. Kind of reminded me of those old Tampa Bay Buccaneers uniforms too, like the '70s. But he had like the bright fucking orange and white. Just looked like a creamsicle out there.
I did not think about that, but you are correct. He did have the creamsicle colors on. Very nice. With a big DM, just DM all over the place. Just direct message me here. I'm surprised you didn't. Dominic, direct DM me. I know it means Dominic Mysterio. Everyone calm the fuck down. I'm joking.
I did have my finger up. I was going to say, well, actually. But on an actual note, I do have to let my dog in. I can hear you, so you can keep going. But
go ahead. Go ahead. The Usos do lose this match, but Jay's shoulder was up, which again plays into the whole thing with Roman Reigns. When the Usos lost, Roman was seen backstage, pissed, livid, steaming. And we go to commercial. They come back, and the Usos are backstage. They're with Reigns. And Reigns is like, y'all better find a way to get another title shot tonight. One way or the other. Or else, you motherfucking idiots. So, and we do find out they do find a way to get a shot at the titles again, which we'll jump into in a few minutes here. But there you go. Smark is back. I can hear him right there. But
one thing that I noticed about this was, like you were saying, they cut to Roman in the back, and he's got like Hammond alongside of him, and he is just absolutely livid, and he's telling them that they need to rectify this right now, or else Roman needs a cat. He needs a cat that he can just stroke deviously, like some kind of a Bond villain, or like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Hairless cat?
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. He could use one. That would look good. A little Dr. Evil-ish. I like it. I think that would be good. That would be very good. You've had the shot at the titles for the 1 millionth time. Anyway, Killer Braxton, after that match, interviews Seth Rollins. Rollins had on a pretty subtle flower print suit, Mark. Did you notice? Little more subtle in the interview.
I did notice this. It looked a lot more like... I wasn't feeling this one quite as much. It looked more of like the kind of thing that you would see like on the wallpaper, or maybe on like the couch cushion or like sheets of a hotel room.
Yes, in like Florida, maybe California. One of those tropical type places.
Yeah, because it was like a white suit and it just had sort of purple and I think like maybe orangish like flower patterns on it. And just
Bahamas.
Compared to what he normally wears, it was pretty tame.
It was pretty tame, pretty subtle. But
Which is something I want to start doing, actually.
Ooh.
So you remember what it looked like. So this is I feel like this could be a segment, and which means it'll get dropped by next week because I'll forget. Out of the old trusty 5 scale, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, what would you give Mr. Rollins' suit for tonight?
This one was a 2.
Yeah, this one was a 2. You're exactly right. Like last week was a 5. I really liked last week's suit.
Yeah, this was a 2. Most definitely. Most definitely a 2. Not very flashy. No fading, no color fading into other colors, into the same color. No, crazy pastel. Oh my God, this is like fucking Miami Vice on acid. None of that. None of that. This was just very.
Oh,
You're right, kind of like grandma. You know what? This was like grandma's couch. You're right.
Christopher Kane asks, why is Seth Rollins wearing these suits? It's a good question.
Because he's losing his mind. If you haven't seen.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially like a surrogate for, or a supplement for like character development. Like this is basically how they're showing that he is in a different stage. His character has changed. It's just for whatever reason he's wearing zany suits now. I'm totally for it, but like there was no real formal explanation given as to why he's just suddenly wearing these loud suits.
Now I'm wondering if he gets to pick the suits he wears. Number one. Number two, does he like the suits he picks, or is he doing it to be annoying? I'd like to know those answers. Does he actually like these suits? Because a couple of them have been pretty fucking cool, man, in my opinion. Like I said, I wouldn't wear any of them. I can't, or I just wouldn't be able to pull it off. But
well, based on those crazy ass coked up cameo videos that we played on the show not too long ago, it seems like that's very much up his alley.
You're right. I forgot about those. You're right. I forgot about those videos, but. This was a short interview, Smart, because Rollins basically didn't want to answer shit. Ended up throwing the mic at old Caleb Braxton. Just a heel bastard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Poor woman was just trying to do her job, trying to conduct some hard-hitting journalism. She had on her little like newsboy hat.
Treated her as good as fucking Johnny Gargano treats Mackenzie, what's her name?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mackenzie Mitchell.
There you go. Thank you. Look at you. All the fucking knowledge and shit. After that, we get Gable. He's back there. He's pitching the Street Profits on joining the Alpha Academy, Smart.
That's right.
Street Profits go with a hard pass. They shoot him down pretty much immediately. Otis comes up later, though, and tells the Street Profits that they were out of line. And the Profits basically sit there and they're like, Otis, has Gable really done anything for you? And then Otis lost his mind and beat the shit out of both of them. I think this is the beginning of the end of Alpha Academy.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, what struck me as particularly odd is, like you said, they had two different segments of Gable trying to recruit the Street Profits, and then Otis going through and just being really upset that they dare say something negative about his sensei. And this is all to set up a tag match that I thought we were getting later in the night, but we actually end up getting it next week.
Right.
Which is really weird because for a non-title tag match, this is the most build even for the regular title tag matches, this is the most build that they've put into a fucking tag team match in a very long time. It was just odd that this particular match that has no real history behind it is getting such a build, but I'm not mad at it.
Well, they had some time to kill, I guess. But actually, it was 3 segments because the Street Profits actually made that match in another segment that you're talking about right there. So I don't know. I think that could be a good match. I did like some of the things that Gable was saying. He said some. He told the Profits that the profits are down. I liked it. I like what Gable was saying there. I thought it was kind of cool. But Otis just beat the shit out of both of them, and that was about it. So, all right. So, Smark.
Yes.
Carmella versus Liv Morgan.
Yes. First off, the immediate takeaway that made me laugh was it starts off with this like super pomp and circumstance. They're just going all out with this entrance for this mysterious person who they don't reveal until a little bit later. But you get the whole like sort of Austin Powers thing where they got the giant curtain and you can see a silhouette and it's just like moving around. That I don't know why I always default to Austin Powers in that particular moment. But so you have this mystery lady who is just dancing and just putting on a show and having a time and just oozing sex appeal. Not really, but anyways. And they drop the curtain and it's Carmella and she starts walking towards the ring and Michael Cole just goes, "Well, here's Carmella." I was like, boy, you really undersold that entrance.
Well, I mean, listen, it was different to hear Carmella come into the ring without Corey Graves like getting the usual verbal boner for her that he usually gets. I mean, Carmella ended up winning the match, but I just thought it was pretty shitty that they couldn't even throw Liv a bone after canning her partner. That's all I'm saying. Her tag partner. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. I felt bad for her. I was like, well, because we were talking about it before, and I was like, well, maybe this could be an opportunity for them to, start pushing her on her own. Like we heard the rumors that they might be getting rid of her too, but nothing sufficed from that. So I was like, yeah, maybe they actually do have an intention of using her and keeping her around for an actual reason with an actual purpose. And no, she was there to lose to Carmella. That was about it. I also got a kick out of Carmella cutting a promo where she's just standing there being a blonde woman with fake breast and a facelift, basically just proclaiming that you've never seen anyone like her. I was like, I've seen billions of people like you, man.
Yeah, you're kind of a dime a dozen. But, yeah, that was just, nothing special about that match. We don't need to spend any more time on that as far as I'm concerned. Now, we do get the setup for the, like I said before, they do Dominic and Ray do end up having another match with the Usos. We see Dominic and his dad leaving. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce come up, and they're like, yo, we reviewed the tape. And obviously the ref made a mistake, so you're getting another shot. Whatever happened to the referee's decision is final?
Well, that's what they were saying. They were saying that the referee's decision was final, so they had to stick with it. But because it was controversial, they were going to give them another opportunity later in the night. And they also, and I forgot to mention this while we were talking about the first match, they made a note to mention the referee's name, which is a really weird route for them to go down, that they never talk about referees' names. They never mention them, acknowledge them. They want you to pretend they don't exist. But then when they fuck up, they make a note to mention their name. So it's like, we want you to know that our referees are super inefficient and they're shitty at their jobs. It's like, well, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and honestly, in my opinion, if I was a referee and you told me my decision is final and then you decided to have a rematch the same night, you're telling me my decision really isn't final and you don't agree with it, and you just undermined everything about me, they may as well call me a piece of meat after that.
They more or less did. They're like, oh, referee Jimmy Jimstone really fucked this one up. It's not his actual name, but I don't care about who he is either.
I didn't see who the ref was, so I'm not sure either. But, yeah, there was did not a lot of making sense in this little segment. But anyway, it got the rematch for the Usos, and that brought us to Bianca Belair out there, Smark. Challenging Bayley in... I wouldn't call what Bianca Belair did a promo. I'd call it more of a motivational speech.
I was kind of keeping up with some of the comments about it, and it seemed like everybody really loved this promo in the sense that they did not love this promo at all. I was seeing like a lot of people that were saying it seemed like it was so forced that she just forgot what she was saying halfway through. Where it's like even she didn't want to say what she was saying, let alone us wanting to hear it. Like it's just the general consensus was that it just really came off as being super forced.
It wasn't the usual emotion we see out of Bianca Belair.
Right.
Especially after winning the title. Like I said, she's been like emotional every promo. She did try to get emotional in this promo, but it just, again, you're right. Everyone was right. It did feel forced, and it came off like a motivational speech. It didn't come off like a promo. It just came off like a motivational speech. Next thing you know, we hear Bayley cackling, and you can't, we look around. She's not there. She's on the screen via satellite, as she said, Smark.
Yes.
she does accept the match, and then suddenly the Thunderdome is filled with Bayley's face laughing, cackling. And that was kind of it.
Just wall to wall, various videos of Bayley just laughing and cackling and chortling about and just rapturous glee. Just kind of getting over the whole idea that she's become unhinged since losing her title. One thing I enjoyed about that is, like you said, she had said that she was there via satellite. So she's either presumably at home or in just some other building. But either way, in this room in her house that we are led to believe that she's in, there is a wall to wall just collage of various pictures of herself, like holding the title. And I just enjoy the fact that like we're led to believe that this is sort of canon, that Bayley has a room in her house that is just the wallpaper is just various pictures of Bayley in Bayley's house.
Well, isn't there a picture of Vince McMahon sitting on a couch with a picture above him of Vince McMahon?
Sitting on a couch, like this is like an Orange Cassidy t-shirt.
A little bit. A little bit.
That would actually be pretty awesome if it's had like a framed photo of him sitting on a couch, and then they just cut to him doing an interview of him sitting on the couch above, like with the picture of him sitting on the couch above him.
That is so Naked Gun. That is so Naked Gun, man.
He has fucking autographed pictures of himself that he signed to himself.
To himself.
It's just like the most fucking just monument to narcissism humanly possible.
Dear Vince, you're the fucking man. Yeah.
You're such good shit, pal. Love yourself.
To Vince, change your underwear. Wait, how did that one get in there? I really should change my...
He's definitely the kind of guy that has like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, where they have the writing on the underwear for each day.
It's just stapled to the little to the pill thing.
Stapled to it. I do love that visual. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. The fucking pill. It's not even a pill bottle. It's a pill container that also has the throughout the week MTW, that shit.
Well, it's Vince, so it's an ammo box, is what it really is.
I can believe that.
Yeah, that's what it really is. Yeah, just change your underwear. I don't know why.
I could also just picture like Vince McMahon having like those like the carnival games where you shoot like the water gun at like the little circle or whatever, and the horse like goes up. I could just picture that, but like with various images of his head. Like he just shoots the water gun and his head just like rises up.
There you go. To Vince, farts are hilarious.
That is another thing we were talking about, them potentially selling the company. Right. But I mean, we were talking about that, like potentially WWE, Vince selling WWE. If he does, that opens up the market for potentially a shoot interview, a Vince McMahon shoot interview. Oh. And I would pay top dollar to just hear him be a raving lunatic for 2 hours. I don't care who conducts it. I will fucking give you money just to hear Vince be a weirdo for 2 hours.
Oh, the Vince McMahon kayfabe commentaries. Oh. The U-shoot of Vince McMahon. That would be amazing. First question. Vinny Ruru. Bro, Vince, bro, why didn't you call me back, bro? All right.
I was watching an old episode of Dark Side of the Ring where they did the Brawl for All. And it's a Russo heavy episode. And just, oh my God. Like, I'm so glad that we are beyond the point where every like wrestling news site picks up everything that Russo says on his podcast and tries to pass it off as being actual news. There was a period in time where that was a thing. Anytime he said anything, anytime Sonny said anything, it was all over the lesser dirt sheets, not so much the Observer, but just all the other ones. And I'm just so glad that we're beyond this point, because for a man who now talks for a living, few people are less articulate than Vince Russo.
Yeah, which gives everyone a little bit of hope.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Everyone's got a little bit of hope here on that one. So, yeah, good stuff there, man. I'm obviously on a completely different level of alcohol and weed than you.
Yes, I'm sober for the moment.
Yeah, you're somehow sober. I don't know how that works. I mean,
It's a frightening experience. This is what it is.
well, I'm sober pretty much every day from the time I get up, I shit, I shower, and then I smoke after I get dressed. So I'm sober a good 45 minutes a day.
So it's overrated. It's overrated.
I believe so. I mean, yeah, I don't want to start noticing things like stoplights and grass, fucking
School crossings.
school cross. No, actually, one of my
The frightened child that is stuck to the grill of my car.
no, actually, one of my absolute one thing that absolutely makes me I want to chase people down is if you speed through a school zone. I'm going to say something that might sound really awful here, but if you're speeding through a school zone, I hope it's your kid. I'm just going to put it like that. I hope it's your kid. I hate when I'm sitting there doing 20 through a school zone and some asshole just flies past me.
Mm-hmm.
It just pisses me off. And literally, I'm not a violent person. I'm not a angry person, but literally my first thought is, I hope it's your kid one day. That might slow you the fuck down. Anyway. Y'all good there, Smart?
Yeah. I was just letting you have your moment. I was surprised that you went darker than I did. I'm impressed.
It's just that's like the one thing. I don't know why it gets down to the core of my fucking soul that people do that. I don't understand it. One fucking place you should be more safe than anything is a school zone. And I see people every day. Because, I mean, there's summer school. There's schools still open right now. And there's also some schools here are open to the 18th because of the weather we had here. The snow days and stuff. So it depends on what school district you're in here. So I don't know, man. It just absolutely kills me when I see someone just blazing through a school zone.
Right. No, I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, now that I've wished death on people, which I usually don't do, Corbin versus Nakamura, Smark.
Segue. Like, speaking of wishing death on people, Corbin.
Exactly. That's kind of where I was going with that. Dude, that video of Nakamura just like wearing the crown on the beach and just doing every little other that it gave me a chuckle. I ain't gonna lie. I liked it. What'd you think of that little video?
It's a Florida beach, so Nakamura walking around wearing a crown, just hanging out on the beach is one of the more normal sights that one would see.
I just thought it was a funny video. He's just wearing the crown everywhere. He's wearing the crown doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was hilarious. We did get more Rick Boogs, which Rick Boogs is really growing on me. I'm really liking the guy. Now, I do have a little issue with this, Mark.
Oh, my issue with this was I was disappointed that they didn't, while he was like breaking out the guitar solo on Shinsuke's theme, he breaks out the guitar and he's doing this whole electric guitar routine playing Shinsuke's theme on the guitar. I was disappointed that we didn't get the wall-to-wall return of the wall-to-wall Bailey faces. Like, because I would have just loved if they just cut to her and she was like giving like the devil horns and just head banging along, and just the entire Thunderdome is just wall-to-wall Bailey heads rocking out to the fucking Shinsuke theme.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I like it.
But what was it that you took umbrage with, though?
Actually, I have two problems. Number one, not enough 80s rock screams from Rick Boogs.
Yes.
Number two, and my actual point. Nakamura is very talented, correct?
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
They're calling him the king of strong style, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. They're trying to make him out to be kind of a real badass with this new guy, big entrance, big this, big that. And he's in a comedy gimmick the whole time.
I mean, are they trying to make him out to be a badass? Because I feel like using the Boogs guy or whatever, it seems like it's just supposed to be more of like sort of a grandiose thing. It's supposed to be just sports entertainment, as it were. It's just like elaborate entrance. This guy's playing his theme on the guitar, and it's supposed to be just a lot of pageantry. I didn't really take it for it being this like kind of badass character.
Yeah, let me try to rephrase this. We know Nakamura as this badass, this strong style, the guy that can go out there, do it in the ring. We love him. He's very entertaining. He's very charismatic. We like the guy. He's coming off of a pretty, decent feud. He just came off of the whole thing with Cesaro, who's getting a great push. You would figure Nakamura would get a good push, and they've got him in a comedy gimmick. The king of strong style.
A little bit.
Well, a little bit. It's all comedy. Boogs is comedy. This whole thing with the crown is comedy. It's like the quarterback losing the football in class or something. This whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like at least something for him to, sort of demonstrate that he has personality, which he hadn't really been given the opportunity to do lately. So that's at least something, and I think that like you can still do a comedy gimmick and get over and like kind of be taken seriously, like like how kind of what they're doing with Matt Riddle right now. It's just a matter of how you present the character in ring. Like if you present him as actually being able to be a legitimate badass in the ring, then you're fine with doing a little bit of a comedic gimmick. But if you have him out there and he's just losing all the time and he's hanging out with this fucking Rick Boogs guy, then he just looks like a total joke.
Well, he did lose tonight.
He lost this week, yeah.
So, I'm just saying, I want.
Well, he lost, but then he got his crown back.
He
that's
did.
Sort of the thing.
He did, but
even then, like, think about this though, is like nobody ever really looks like a serious badass when they're feuding with Corbin. Like even Roman Reigns, they obviously care about how they present him, but when he was feuding with Corbin, they were fucking doing the dog food thing.
Right. Well,
where they had like the loser of the match was supposed to eat dog food.
I guess here's my point. I want more for Nakamura.
Sure.
I guess that's my, in a nutshell, if you will. That's my point. I want more for Nakamura. I don't want him in a comedy, thing, trying to. I get it with the Rick Boogs. It's always going to kind of be comedy at this point,
right?
But I can handle the Rick Boogs entrance, the everything else, if he's out there, and maybe it's because he's in there with Corbin. Maybe that's why I'm more annoyed by it. But I just want better for Nakamura in the long run. And I don't think it's in the cards anywhere with creative.
An interesting counterpoint to that is Sacha Baron Corbin says, not enough, Baron.
Don't listen to him.
Well, I mean, there's a yin and yang here. I just like to present both sides of the story. Now, I'm not sure if he means that we're not talking about Baron Corbin enough, because he did request that we talk about him for an hour, which I feel like we're going to come up just short of. I'm trying my level best to give you an hour of solid Corbin content, but I don't think we're going to reach it quite tonight, or if they don't show enough Corbin on SmackDown, which he did only have one segment, so an argument could be made that there's not enough Corbin content on SmackDown.
Listen, the fact that I brought the match up Super Sasha Baron Corbin should be happy. I really only bring it up for him. Otherwise, no one really gives a shit if I bring it up or not. We know that. But anyway.
It's not a bad feud, though, because, I mean, once again, they're playing sort of hot potato with the crown, because Corbin won the match, and then he ended up losing his crown again.
Well, thank God for Rick Boogs getting involved. You know, he kind of he was ready to sacrifice his body for that crown, dude.
He was. I feel like that kind of makes Corbin like look out to be worse, because they haven't really established the fact that this Boogs guy used to be a wrestler. He just like this random dude that just shows up and plays guitar essentially, but you have him like kind of punking out Corbin every week, so it kind of makes Corbin look shitty.
It does, but anyway, got to have more rock scream from Rick Boogs. More rock screams.
That is important.
Absolutely.
I'll put you on the spot with a little bit of a question here. I spent a lot of I think it was Wednesday afternoon. Actually, it was Thursday, but it's not important. Anyways, so I spent a lot of Thursday listening to and watching old rock videos on YouTube, the old 80s rock music videos, and I had myself quite a treat. So just the question, it's not really so much of a question as it is just me sort of pointing at you and telling you to talk about like sort of memorable rock videos from that kind of stick out in your mind. Like one of the ones I was watching was the not in 80s. I did say 80s, but it's not 80s in this particular instance. The video for Epic by Faith No More, where they have like the fish flopping around and he's singing. They have fucking the rain effect going on. That was always pretty cool.
I do remember those. Good. Look, man. MTV used to be really awesome. Play real videos of real, you know, of believe it or not, they actually used to play music videos. Let me just let that settle in with some of the younger audience out there. Yes, they played music videos, and there were some really memorable ones. That one is one. I mean, if we're going 90s, I would have to say the Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit video was a really memorable one. Also, because 90s is when still MTV was still playing videos. Man, 90s are, again, I wasn't watching much TV in the 90s, man. I was out partying.
Well, 80s
drinking.
works too, though, because I started talking about 80s because it started off with me like listening to or watching a couple of sort of, I have a real soft spot in my heart, not for the songs themselves, but just for like the 80s hair metal videos, because they're usually the most corny things imaginable, but that I do enjoy me some corniness.
Dude, some of the 80s videos were made. All those Bon Jovi videos were great. Most of them were on live stage for videos, and it was, you know, you'd see the crowd, the this, that. Those were great. My God, some of my favorite 80s videos I can think of. Billy Joel, Pressure was a great video.
I remember the one that he did for the longest time, where it's like just a bunch of guys from, it's a high school reunion. So these guys are all like in their 30s now, and they show up and they're just like taking turns singing in a bathroom. It's supposed to be like a barbershop quartet type of style.
Right. Yeah, I remember that one. The Tubes. She's a Beauty. Not only is that a great video, one of my, that song has always stuck with me. What were some of the other videos? Scorpion. Owner of a Lonely Heart. I always remember that video.
I know the song, but I've never seen the music video.
I always remember that video because the guy actually goes to wash his face, and he washes his face with scorpions. Just, I mean, Come On Eileen, so many videos. By the way, read the lyrics of that song. He's literally he is talking about coming on Eileen.
And, you know, the one thing that I missed is that it's more of a 90s trope again, but it is what it is. That was the era that I grew up in. But the tie-ins for the movies, like the songs that'll appear on a soundtrack, and then they'll make the music video, and they'll tie in clips from the movie. I always like those because it's like it's always a real sort of crapshoot as to whether or not anybody will actually remember the movie that it was based off of, or if you'll just see it and be like, "Oh man, that movie fucking sucked."
You know, I got to tell you, I think the '90s is kind of where that stopped, is where they made songs specifically for movies.
Right.
I got to
Like
tell
Prince
you,
did a lot of those.
yeah, Prince did, Aerosmith. I mean, what was it? Don't want to miss a thing for Armageddon.
Yeah.
Celine Dion for Titanic. But I gotta say, I think in the 2000s that kind of went away. They didn't really specifically make songs just for movies anymore. They just used songs that were out there. So
See,
different time, man. Much different
last
time.
instance that I can remember, and I'm trying to look to see when this was. I want to see the IMDb of it, but I think it was for Scream 3. If it wasn't for Scream 3, it was for Scream 2, but I want to say Scream 3. There is a song by Creed, and I apologize to everyone for invoking the name of Creed, but the song What If? I remember that being for like Scream 3, I want to say it was. I think that was like the last real instance of that happening.
I don't even know. I don't even think I've followed the Scream series, but it's I don't know. It's just like I said, man. A lot of, I mean, and the '80s were filled with duets. Lots of duets were in the '80s. Just a lot of things that, yeah, I know we still get some today, but the '80s duets were all amazing. I mean, Jesus Christ, you had the two Phils, Phil Collins and Phil Bailey doing that. Oh my God, I can't think of the name of the fucking song. You know.
I wish I could help you, but I was never really a big Phil Collins fan because when you said the two Phils, the first Phil that came to my mind was Phil Hartman.
No.
And obviously, he's not a singer, although I would have loved to have seen a music video with Phil Collins and Phil Hartman. I don't know what the fuck he would be doing, but it would be phenomenal.
Well, Phil Collins did do a video with Ultimate Warrior.
So. Chevy Chase. Oh, no, that's not Chip. That's fucking, what's his name?
That's Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Call me Al.
Yeah.
Maybe you can call me Betty, and you can call me Al. Oh, I'll call you Betty. You can call me Al.
That actually would have been great if those were the song lyrics. He just becomes less and less confident as to whether or not this lady can call him Al. Like, you can call me Al. You can maybe call me Al if you want to.
Yeah. If I can call you Betty, you can call me Al. That's it. Good song. Good song. Good video. I know Chevy Chase is kind of a dick, but I still like a lot of his movies. I actually watched Fletch. Jesus Christ, I think I actually turned it on last night or the night before. But let's go ahead and run back to SmackDown. I kind of want to get this done at this point. We're Jesus Christ, what are we at here? Ooh,
nearing 3 hours.
Yeah, let's knock this bad boy out here. We don't want to do 3 hours. We're actually about probably 2:35 at this point. Apollo Crews versus Kevin Owens. Commander Aziz Mark banned from ringside.
That's right.
Ringside, which really didn't fucking matter because Aziz attacked him backstage because he was only banned from ringside. I did like Crews just kind of looking on and laughing as he walked to the ring.
Man, that is a real missed opportunity now that I think about it. Like, nobody has tried to do, like, the I bought a ticket storyline yet during the pandemic. That would have been fucking awesome. Like, we don't sell tickets. How did you buy a ticket? Like, that would have been great for Sami Zayn to just be like, I bought a ticket.
Oh, Sammy was great at the end of this, but here's what I kind of find a little odd about this.
Okay.
They've got Owens fighting from underneath as this big underdog when Owens is damn near, I mean, Apollo might be ripped, but Owens is about the same size as Apollo.
Yes.
But
they're both on the shorter side of the spectrum.
They do.
Apollo's ripped, but Kevin Owens is essentially the same, like, height and essentially kind of the same weight, too.
Right. Exactly. So it just felt strange having... But again, I get why they had Aziz attack him. So when Kevin Owens did lose, he's still, and they made sure to mention in the match that no way he could be 100%. He's not 100%. Both Cole and McAfee laid that in pretty good. That he's not 100%. That's why Apollo is going to win, even without Aziz down there. So I like that, but I just thought it was weird they had Owens coming in as the underdog, just trying to make him this huge baby face, where Owens is a tweener, man. He really is. He always is. When he's a baby face, he still is a dick. When he's a dick, he's still kind of the cool, cocky baby face. He's always a tweener. I think even no matter if he's heel, again, we're blurring lines here, heel or baby face, he's still just kind of got that aura about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not the kissing babies, shaking hands type of a baby face. He's more of, this guy's an asshole, but he means well. So it's relatable to most people, myself included.
Yeah, and they were giving him, he comes out no matter what they like giving Owens that no matter what happens to him, he's going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back.
Right.
But after a while, it just gets old to me. And I think tonight was kind of the one where it was like, this was a little overbooked, in my opinion.
Well, like the thing is that it's like the Stone Cold formula, except for one very big variable. It's that Kevin Owens gets beat up all the time, but he never gives up, and he keeps coming, and he keeps getting beat up, and he doesn't stop, and he keeps going, and keeps going, and keeps going. But then he usually ends up like losing the blow-off match. So if it's like for a title, like with Roman, he got beat up by Roman like all the time, and then he lost the title match to Roman. Now he's challenging Cruz for his title, and he's getting beaten up all the time, and he's probably going to end up losing that big blow-off title match too. So like it builds him as being resilient, but then eventually he has to win some of these.
Yeah, that would help because right, he is. He comes out this resilient underdog, which again, a guy the size of Owens just doesn't make a good underdog. He looks like a fucking bruiser. He just looks like a fucking Canadian bruiser. And it just doesn't look good to me having this guy as this really big underdog. I know they like coming him out with the whole fight, Owens fight. He fights through everything. He fights through this. He fights through that. But you're right. Eventually, he's got to fight and win, not just keep fighting from underneath.
He got his ass kicked, but it didn't break his spirit.
Right. And Sensible Sam says, he'll shake your baby, but not the baby's hand. He'll just shake the baby.
Oh, yeah, of course. You shake him up, you give him back to the parents, you let the kid throw up on him. It's good fun.
There you go. Let a kid pee on you once or twice. That's holy water. That's not pee. That just puts you in a club. That's all. But anyway, let's just get to this last little match here. Take 2 on Dominic and his dad part 2 versus the Usos. Once again for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Match is going great, Smark, and Reigns comes in and just completely fucks it all up.
It's pretty great because they sell it on commentary as Roman gets involved because he knows the Usos are going to lose again. So I just like the idea of him just like throwing his hands up in the air and just disgust and like, I knew it. I fucking knew they were going to fuck up again. Surprisingly, it isn't Jay's fault this time. That's who I had my money on. But I gotta clean up their mess again. Fuck it.
Cleans it up, beats the brakes off Dominic, dude. Dominic, this was like a pay your dues beating to Dominic. He beat the shit out of him, puts him in the guillotine, chokes him out, beats him up again. Jimmy tries to go out of the ring. He tells Jay, hey, come on with me, man. And Jay, once again, Jay's Stockholm syndrome kicks in, and he stays with Roman. And once again, we go off the air with Roman grabbing Dominic once again and powerbombing the shit out of him.
He did beat the fuck out of poor Dominic.
Oh. Dominic
at one point, I'm pretty sure one of the Usos was just like, he's already dead. Stop it, Us.
Well, Jimmy was trying to call him off. He's like, he's had enough. He's had enough. And that's where Roman kind of took offense a little bit.
He just starts beating him more.
Exactly. Took a little bit of offense to that. So,
does it seem to you like it seems to me that this is potentially leading to a Roman Ray feud, which I'm not exactly wild about?
I'm thinking Ray Dominic. I think it's going to end up being Dominic in the long run. I got a feeling it may start with Ray. Ray gets hurt. Dominic fills in for him. That's kind of where I feel this is going. I'm not sure if you agree.
I can see that.
I could see that happen. That's kind of where I'm just the way everything's been going. Maybe that's the way it'll go. I got to tell you, though, SmackDown is so refreshing after watching Raw. And even NXT is getting a little cheesy lately, man. Just SmackDown just seems to be the better show at this point. So thank God for SmackDown at this point. Otherwise, I would be completely not giving any shits about either show. So thank God for SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, SmackDown is usually consistently pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, usually at worst, it's sort of just uneventful.
Right.
But for the most part, it's usually a pretty good show. It's just the only thing is just not a lot of people watch it because it's on Friday, because it's like just has a reputation of being the B show. It just doesn't get a lot of eyes on it. But I feel like more people watched it. They would definitely prefer it to Raw.
Well, I'm sure there's some housewives in some city that probably beats this show. So, all right. Smart. I'm good. I'm done. I got to pee again.
Wow, that is impressive,
dude.
I think we might have gotten to the bottom of this. Why you pee so fast thing is that you don't go for a full pee.
I have had, like I said, man, I've been drinking a ton of water today, and I've been drinking beer. But let's go ahead and knock this motherfucker out right here. Let's go ahead and get this going here. Take Your Drunken Ass Home is playing, and that means you need to be listening to the high marks. Cheeseman, Mojo, G-Wiz, Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt. I did not stutter. Metal Mitt Network. Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. Check out the Cheeseman, the Mojo, the G-Wiz. You know you want to. I know you want to. So just go ahead and do it. Stop holding yourself back. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhumans over there on the Inhuman Experience. Definitely go over Apple Podcasts, Google, anywhere you get podcasts. You want to be checking out the Inhuman Experience over there. Go for it. You will not be disappointed. Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Check out those guys. Eric, Doug, Daniel, all the cast of characters they have over there. You want to be checking those guys out. All the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, Blog Talk Radio. Type it in. Everything Unscripted. It will pop up right there. And, of course, for sharing the show, Stephen Milan. It is greatly appreciated, sir. Check him out. Reviewing films. Letterboxd. BOXD.com/Stephen Milan. 2 L's in Milan. Check him out over there reviewing films. Spreaker. You can find us there. Stitcher. You can find us there. iHeartRadio. There too. Spotify. Google. Anchor. YouTube. Anywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. Smark, lead us out, sir.
That's right. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Med Podcast Network on the Mixler Machine. You want to check out Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man, the Cheese Master. Sundays, 10:30 a.m. also on the Metal Med Podcast Network on the Mixler device as well. Be sure to listen to the Motor City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. And last, never, ever least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Rack on Tour. It's Planet Rack on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, Bobby Dave, Sincere, and Yuck Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for you, as well as story excerpts, clips, anything you could ever want, anything your little heart desires, you can find it there. Be sure to subscribe to them for season 2.
There you go. Always sign up for season 2. And just in case you're wondering, by the way, if you do want to jump in the chat room and sign up for Mixler, it is 100% free. You sign up, get a name, go in. You're in the chat room. You're listening. You're listening live. It's free. Mixer.com/dirtsheet dudes. Check us out. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, the downloaders. Thank you, Smark, of course. And you guys have a great weekend. We will be back here Wednesday night talking all the wrestling. See you.
Adios.
If you don't know what to do with yourself, take your drunken ass on. Yeah.